EGFC Valorant is back, and we are incredibly excited to be able to bring it to all of you. My name is Sam Talks. Joining me, the ever amazing, as always, Loki. Loki, we got a lot of games ahead of us today, but starting us off, University of Delaware versus DePaul University.
Yeah, and it should be a very, very exciting one. Delaware University is right in that slot where they've performed really well all year. They just haven't quite been able to take it over that next level, quite been able to get over the hump. And maybe they, work break off, and now they have a chance to prove if they can put all that work to use against a DePaul team that has been doing very well this year.
That's what we're kind of looking for, right? We've had this winter break. The teams have been able to take a chance to have a break, but also work on strategy, get better during that time period as we go into the second half of this season. And so we also got to talk about new maps are out as well. In fact, that's what we're going to be seeing today. We're going to be starting off on the map of Ascent, but then we go to Lotus. Brand new competitive map, brand new map in general in Valorant. A lot of different ways that you can play around it. It's also the second 3-site map that has been added to the game. So a lot of different variations, a lot of different ways that players are going to be playing around on it. And here's the kicker too. It's only been out for a couple of weeks. So teams are still strategizing. And that makes me wonder, why pick Lotus? Is it something that you maybe have been practicing on and you really want to throw the enemy for a loop?
Yeah, I mean, if you've just been doing nothing but grinding Lotus for the past 2 weeks, why not throw it out there? I mean, if you're just that confident, you think that you can kind of get the drop on it. Other teams probably haven't been practicing as much. They're still running, old maps and just putting Lotus into the rotation. If you've been just grinding it, you've got a strat, you've got an idea. Why not put it to the use,
Exactly. Why not put it to good use? Why not figure out a way? Okay, we're really going to make them think twice about wanting to go up against us. Now, that could be also really bad. Still a relatively new map, so whether or not you've been grinding it out, you got to make sure that you have everything on lockdown. You got to make sure that you know which agents you're going to want to go in with that. But now we're going to go into game, of course, starting off with our first map of Ascent. And let's go ahead and take a look at the agents that have been selected. University of Delaware seems to have theirs locked in right off the bat. In a composition, though, Loki.
Yeah, nothing really too surprising there. I love seeing the Killjoy on Ascent. Just the amount they can lock down that B site is ridiculous. Nothing else that lets you stall so long that everyone else can just rotate over. KO, no surprise there. We love seeing the Rays. Only real surprise with Delaware is there's no Jet in the lineup. I know that duelists love playing Jet on Ascent.
Jet on Ascent just makes so much sense. Being able to dash in and out whenever you need to. Of course, if you're working with an operator as well on the defending side, you basically get easier ways to be able to make those certain hits. The Rays from Kevster, though, very interesting choice. So we're obviously going to be seeing how they're going to use her to the best of its abilities. I don't think that's necessarily a bad choice, but we'll see what Kaz is going to do on the Jet. We almost have a mirror matchup. The only difference is the duelist.
Yeah. The one thing that I would say with Rays is I think they give you that really good site control, but I think you lose a lot trying to cover mid. With Jet, with the operator just locked down in mid, it just gives you so much space to do whatever you want to. And playing that Rays, I think you really lose the ability to just, not have to worry about mid, just be able to full focus those sites.
Absolutely. And of course, for DePaul, they're going to be starting off on defense. So this is going to be really good. They have the Jet once they are able to work their way up to an operator or however they want to be able to use Jet. It is going to be massive. Now, here's the interesting thing that we're looking at from DePaul, though. Obviously, you have KJ. She's really good at being able to set up on B side. You said that yourself. But we're still seeing DePaul lean towards B heavier than what I thought they would be.
I mean, it's the easier thing to take. With pistols, it does look like maybe there's no way they try to fight a cat first round attack, right?
Right?
There's no
way. All right, so we're going to have a smoke in mid just to make sure to cut off sight lines there, prevent anyone. But yeah, Kev is just going to walk straight up cat. Right over to A. But we're in this 2-3 split push. The spike, however, over on A side. Oh, Kaz getting away with their life, but only 22 HP left. Now you're going to get hit by the boom bot, but Jelly is going to come out on top of that with a kill there onto Kevster. So now you're down your duelist. Being able to entry on the side is going to become that much more difficult, but the kills are coming in DePaul's favor right now.
Look at Jelly just playing aggressively right now. I mean, that's what you want to see from your Omen, being willing to take that kill, kind of lean over into that duelist role, but usually we don't see him going for the jumping flank shot on Cat right there. Spike is going to go down with only 2 left for Delaware. They need to play brains out right now, and there it is! 3K was set him up, Calico 1 health, cannot complete it though. Just barely Ghosty gonna find that final shot.
Silva, that was clean from what we saw there. An almost, well, not perfect attack, but almost a successful attack round for University of Delaware. It was just really unfortunate that they lost so many into being able to entry in, and then you have your Omen and you have your Sova trying their best, but really there was only so much that they could do. The fact that they were able to get away with 3 though, Loki, that is insane in and of itself, but they're still going for this 2-3 split push.
Yeah, I mean, if they like the default, they like the default. At this point, they're not going to have weapon advantage, so I'd love to see them, you know, jump on top of each other, just stack up, go Wolfpack style, run it in, send it all the way. But if they've got this strat down, they've got this split push down, then why not just run it?
Exactly. Why not run it? Why not get an opportunity to find something there? Kaz manages to find out a couple. At least C2 wanted to walk up through B main, but the big thing there that just happened, they took a lot of damage for their efforts, and as they walk right inside, going to take a headshot for their efforts. The turret, of course, trying its best, and we're going to see Ghosty use a pop flash, walk right in, get 1 kill onto Lelka, do a lot of damage onto Kevster. The grenade comes in to try and do a little bit of damage, but that's not going to deter Ghosty for long.
Yeah. Raze tries to get out with that one. Not going to happen. Not going to be able to do it as Ghosty has soft walked their way into a double kill and put 3 on the round for them. Alan tries to get on site, and Jelly and Suki have just locked that treehouse down. No chance there. So Delaware now gets to sub up with some guns for the first time, give themselves that weapon advantage. And, you know, those pistol rounds are important. Those 2 rounds can be huge. But at the end of the day, I don't think, you know, they translate super well into how plays looks elsewhere.
Look what Kaz has, though.
Kaz pulling out the operator round 3.
Oh, that's juicy, and you can already see where they want to set themselves up. They want to be in mid. They want to make sure that they are in control of that the entire time. The only thing that scares me here is the fact that they do have weapons, but it seems right now for Delaware, it's all about cutting off sight lines, all about making sure to deny that pressure that's going to come from Kaz. This is a really, really bold move, though, to be sitting inside of the smoke with that operator.
Ghosty gonna take outside of the smoke, gets down Kevster, and they're gonna train it back out. But look at this, Kaz taking the aggressive angle in mid, gonna immediately refrag that back out. So that's a 2v1 trade on the side of DePaul. And that is gonna force Delaware to really slow this down here.
Now we're sending out the drone. Well, hiding in the corner is not gonna be found out by that, so. Oh, what just happened there? No way! Sago was just walking right up, minding their own business, and then boom! A little luck that they can have, and a kill there too gives them a nice weapon upgrade.
Standing ahead.
Sometimes you just gotta play that mid-round reaction test, you know? Keep it spicy, keep it moving. Ghosty here possibly has this angle. Nah, not gonna happen. It looks like we're gonna see Delaware just rotating back to a main, as that does seem to be the comfort spot for this Omen and Sova.
It's just the 2 of them again.
30 seconds left.
And Kaz has set themselves up in heaven with the operator. So anyone who dares to enter into their sight lines is going to have to make sure that they're doing it perfectly. But with the way that things are looking right now for Delaware, they're running out of time. And Loki, I wouldn't be surprised. This is looking like a save.
Yeah, I think they've just kind of sheltered themselves in this area. Not, you know, no one wants to go inside, try to deal with that op. Kaz has shown already that they're, you know, they know what they're doing with it. 2 seconds on the clock. Ghosty maybe trying to send it. No, I think they're willing to just take their Vandal and go home as well.
Okay. It looked like Ghosty was out for blood. They really wanted to get the kill there. They saw the shock dart come in, but they didn't quite know exactly where the final 2 remaining members of Delaware were. So at the very least for them, they get to hold on to their weapons. And a little bit of a force as well coming from Lelkin Panda on the side of Delaware.
I mean, you might as well, like, 2 of your friends have rifles, might as well buy up, see what you can do, keep another round reset from being lost just for free. You know, if you're gonna be broke, you might as well be broke as a team.
Take flight.
Teamwork makes the dream work. If everybody's broke, we're all happy together. Presence detected, though. Look at that. The knife goes out. catches out. The drone is going to be completely not useful whatsoever, and Jelly is not going to get caught up by the knife. And so now they just get to hang out. Yeah, just chilling and wine. They had the paranoia set up and ready to go. So the second they try to bake their push, they throw in the grenade, and guess what happens? Oh my gosh. It was going to be a shooting range right there, but they reacted just perfectly in time from Kevster to get the kill onto Jelly. But Ghosty, look at that, comes away with 2.
Ghost's been doing a great job of just playing janitor. There's their third. This is the second round we've seen him get that huge multi-kill. Kaz, run and gun just about with that operator. Look, the movement there, insane. At the end of the day, only Suki's gonna fall. As DePaul is looking so clean right now. And because of that force, Delaware is just gonna have no money to their name.
They really aren't, and this is going to make things that much more difficult. At the very least, what's happening here, Loki, now is that we've seen them going in as a 5-stack, but when you're wanting to go in as a 5-stack like this, you got to be putting the pedal to the metal. You really got to be applying the pressure as quick as you can if you're not going to split off and try to apply pressure in different areas of the map. So here we have it once again. This time around, though, it seems like they want to have mid presence. They're leaning towards that mid control. Kaz being an incredibly bold jet. This is the kind of things that you want, though, but down they go. And so now, that is a huge win right there for Delaware to be able to take away the operator presence from the map. Ooh. Sago.
3 suppressed.
3 caught inside of the knife. We're leaning towards Cat right now. Lauk is trying to decide what they want to do, but it's going to become that much more difficult with the loss of Nautical. Ghost is just holding this angle perfectly. Not waiting for anyone to come in, and the second they get hit with the paranoia, what do? They throw down their molly, deny entry, deny presence. And so now they use the flashbang. The pop flash from Ghosty so far has been pretty good. He's been able to do a lot with that flashbang, and at the very least, has been able to get a couple of frags out of it each and every single time.
Yeah, it's been clean. And that will get them on site as well. One of the few plants we've been able to see. Issue is, there's all of this Heaven presence, one in Treehouse. It does not look like they're really set up in post plant to deal with, you know, that Heaven response. They're gonna come out. Panda immediately falling. Great play by Sago. Sago finds the second one. There's one in hell. Don't know about it. Laukin out. One man in a dream, but gonna get woken up very quickly. Jelly turning into a nightmare there. And with that, Paul is going to have clean defuse. A little bit of gun shopping. Oh, they're running for the operator.
Ah, they brought it to half, so they're good to go. Far enough. Trying to find it. And there we go. An operator. All right, so they managed to save it. Kaz is very happy.
Stay taut as a bowstring.
Your Jet's always pleased when the operator stays on your team. And Kaz has, you know, hey, Kaz has been working with it. What's up?
Well, look at Ghosty, though. 10 kills.
Yeah.
In round 6.
What's wild about that is they haven't been like, you know, oh, I'm going to be a duelist all of a sudden. Oh, I'm going to play outside my role. They've just been a clean initiator. They've been playing janitor. They've been playing off of other people's plays. They've been playing cleanup. You know, getting those trades and really working through the macro of this team and the team play of this team. Like, they've been picking up the plays that everyone else is putting down.
Kaz is just being the bulwark in mid, making sure that no one is able to do anything there, and they get a nice Sova. But this time around, not. It's just, once again, Lelk has taken down Kaz time and time again. You take away so much of that pressure from the operator, and so now you feel a little bit more bold about wanting to go onto site. Still, though, they're taking things slow. They're not rushing this. They're waiting to see what happens here. Lelk is going to put down the... Oh, they put down the lockdown. What happens there? You have a Sova on the other side with an Odin who just eliminates it immediately. Now they figured out what you're doing, using that recon drone.
Yeah, Sova, A-Site, Odin. That is old school Valorant right there. And Suki's got this entire place locked down. Lelk wants to find a little bit, but Suki's doing a good job just making sure they're safe with their movement. Meanwhile, the rest of the team, Delaware rotated completely over to A-Site. Panda gonna find one. Panda needs to find more. Great pop flash, but Ghosty there again to trade him out. Kalik finally gonna shut that down. That does get them back to bomb. Meanwhile, Suki's all the way on B-site still, so Delaware has a good moment to get this bomb planted.
Yeah, really only the person left standing now. Alec managed to plant it down. The rest of the team is going to be regrouping. Suki breaking down the door using the Odin, now decides to trade it out for the Vandal. They're gonna have to walk through the smoke, and this is gonna have to be very careful on the other side. 2 members left. They hear the TP, but it has been canceled, so faked out. And we're gonna have the recon dart to go in. Looking for any potentials here. They heard the turret go down, but that's not the most important thing they want to worry about. They want to make sure they can figure out where exactly this Omen is. Now it's time to rush onto site, but Lelk, the defender, to make sure that no one is gonna touch that spike. This is gonna be the first round win for University of Delaware.
Lelk's been clean on those, just like shut down the angle, you know, make sure no one can aggress through this area type plays. Anytime someone's been, you know, going a little bit too fast, going a little bit too aggressive, Lelk's been out here just shutting them down, giving, you know, no room to play, which is exactly what you want to see from your Sentinel. You know, just cutting down those aggressive plays, cutting down those flank plays, and just making sure that everyone can play exactly how they, you know, exactly how they need to. Kaz is going to pick that up right back up, so no worry about, you know, monetary constraints from the side of DePaul. And all of Delaware being able to put a gun in their hands as well means that they're going to have a pretty tight push here over on this A site.
Oh, there's just so much going on here that Kev's gonna have to worry. Look at that satchel technique, though. That was absolutely beautiful to bring them right into Market. Market, though, is right into the hands of Kaz and that operator. Lelk, a double kill or entry onto site. A beautiful way to go about doing that. But Kaz, after being a little bit quiet this time around, is now ready to start shouting. 2 kills already with that operator. And we see the reason why they wanted to get that back into their hands.
Got 2 kills and knives for when they want to go in. That null command going to make it much, much harder to do it. No knives anymore. Hunter's Fury as well. They've got a target. Can they track him down?
Oh, no way!
No! They're going to stray right into Kaz's point of view as Ghosty takes advantage of that.
They didn't get the kill.
Attack. Not going to get on
No
site.
way!
Lelk able to take on 2 different
Ace.
angles at once. This Sentinel is here, ready to play. Can they get the ace? No! Jelly just barely has the right angle at the right time. The luck, the Valorant gods not going their way, but the time not on their side. So no ace, but Delaware does manage to take the round with them.
It was all just about wasting as much time as you possibly could, and that's what Lelk realized there. And then once they knew that they had enough time, once they knew that the timer had expired at that point and they were able to do whatever they wanted, that's when you try to go for the ego, right? That's when you try to go for the ace. Unfortunately, it was denied for them, but Lelk, unbelievable right now performance from them on the side of Delaware, and into making sure that they're actually able to secure these rounds so far. And I mean, to be able to walk away from that with 4 kills of your own, look at that, they're out there sitting at 9-6. Keep an eye on Lelk, that's for sure.
4 kills, one of them coming off of, you know, that 2 angle. 2v1 is the most insane one to me. Talk about being able to spray transfer with a, you know, 180 flick.
It was beautiful.
Now, though, oh, just ridiculous. There's no way to practice for that.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. We have the full 5 stack once again. This team does not want to separate anymore. Now they throw it in. Jelly, caught inside of the nanoswarm, has to get out of there. Only has 9 HP now. You just throw out the smokes and you hope for the best, really, at this point. Thankfully, they were able to get it off in time from before the 0-point knife went through. You just thought everything was going to be good and happy. No, not with Ghosty's on site. They get a double kill. They're looking for the 3rd one.
No.
What is this, Ghosty?
Yeah, got that triple kill while dodging that Killjoy. Suki there going to be able to finish it off. No huge worries for DePaul. And that's off of the back of Ghosty's amazing play there. Grabs the triple, great tracking to make sure those blast packs can do nothing for him. Those satchel charges just immediately out of the game. Doesn't matter how good your movement is when Ghosty's tracking you down.
You really do have to feel for Kevster. They wanted to go in, but it was just Ghosty. There were so many things that they had to worry about too. They got hit by the knife. They were going to be pinged by the recon dart. And so they were moving all over the place. And the fact that they still had the nerves of steel to be able to come away with a 3K Loki is nothing short of determination and absolute skill from a player who knows what they are doing and what they need to do. Sago, and then with trying to reposition themselves, is going to take a lot of damage. Love gonna Stinger, name a more iconic combo as they walk away with a double kill, just going right onto site, not even wasting any time.
You know, usually we see the Sage picking up the duelist role. Now, though, we have a Killjoy sending it. No command out from Ghosty right now. To attack that back of site. Has 2 in there. Jelly gonna pick up 1. Nautical That down, Jilly now on the site. There's Lauk gone. They were stuck using their utility. It's all down to Panda and a Stinger. That's one. Not gonna find two. Ghost grabs him with the knife. That's just brutal.
It's brutal. You're going in for the memes now. You saw an opportunity and you took it, but we have to give it to, I mean, Delaware for that round. It was a bye-bye, sort of an eco round, so they wanted to maximize as much as they possibly could, and I think that was one of the best ways that they could have gone about doing it. The Stinger is a formidable weapon, especially after some of the buffs that it's gotten, so nothing to sneeze at, and we saw exactly just what it's capable of there.
Yeah, I mean, Delaware did their damage. You know, they hurt the economy. That sets them up for this round. If they get a win now, they won't have to deal with, you know, as much money in the bank for the next 3 rounds for Delaware. That means lighter buys every round, which means easier wins. That stuff snowballs pretty easy.
It does.
As immediately has to get out of dodge and mid-control and not going their way, as it looks like Lauk has locked it down once again. Talk about Lauk just locking the entire map down, it feels like.
Cover going out.
This is a really bold move. No, this is bad. That's really bad. Because guess who's in control of Spike now? DePaul? You thought you were safe there by yourself because the rest of the team was pushing up Cat. But now they're going to have to rotate all the way around to make sure that they go and pick up the Spike. Ghosty is holding it down. This is going to become that much more difficult. And in trying to get to there, you're losing so much to even get to the Spike now.
Suki's still got this 100 Furies too. They want to just take it through. Instead, they're just going to take the fight. That means Lauk's down. Panda with the pop flash. Going to end up getting Suki, but not before Suki's taken away. It feels like almost all a chance to get here. It's just Panda. 1v3. Locks down that door, but now everyone knows what they are, so they're going to have to go for that, you know, 2-person peek on them.
Oh,
Ghosty and Jelly checking for it, and that's all she wrote.
No hope whatsoever. Not when Jelly and Ghosty were watching down that sideline, both together. They knew where the knife came from. It gathered information, but it also gave away information. And so the setup was there. You work together with your teammate, and boom, down they go. It was just a really rough round for Delaware in general when you lose Calic, who had the Spike on them. And so now, once again, another light buy.
And only 2 more rounds to really make their case on attack. Leading into this, Lauk still the standout player. Only person on Delaware who's positive right now, and every kill there incredibly earned. Delaware once again got this 5-stack Kaz going for this aggressive op angle. It's failed them before, not gonna fail them this time. Lauk shut down, looking for more, not gonna find Capstore. They're back on the angle, going to find Panda. The shorty is out. Don't need to use it though, as Suki has nailed the duelist from Delaware. It's just going to be Nautical and Calic now. They've got all the way up to market, but can they do more?
The only unfortunate thing for them is, even though they're all the way in market, no Spike. They do have an Omen ult that they can use to go and pick it up, but they might want to save it for more buffed up rounds for them at the very least, when they have weapons in their hands and a better chance at actually being able to secure this, especially not when the entire rest of the team is alive. Sago, fearless inside of market, is going to get the kill onto Nautical, and then Suki to clean things up on Calic. DePaul University, 9 rounds won.
In the half.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool that they got the market, but honestly, I don't know that's where they wanted to be. They were using those stingers. You want that close range. You want to just run straight at them, you know, be about 5 feet away, be in knife range. But going around from market like that, it means you're playing all of these, you know, super long angles. At the end of the day, that's honestly what bit them. Sago there was completely in the view of the Stinger. They could have gotten shot down. Instead, the range meant that Calic really couldn't set it up. Now though, Delaware, last chance to make their case, try to, you know, force that 9-3 curse. Tepster, they're ready to party. Throws out the ult, not gonna find anything though. Are gonna find Jelly with the rifle as Panda takes down Ghosty. Those two have been locking down this A side. Not today though. Bomb is going to go down. Just very out, looking for that killjoy, gonna scatter everyone on site. As Sago trying to shoot down fish in a barrel, it feels like. Gonna end up picking up one before they get down themselves. And now Panda detained, 2 players detained for Delaware. There's Lauk down, looking for the second. Calic
Suki?
Follow them shorter. Panda with the classic out. Can they find more? Nope. Kaz has them. And that is going to be the half.
Take flight.
Switching sides.
Now, that was a round from Delaware, though. Even though they lost it, I liked what I saw there, Loki. It was exploding onto site. Literally, obviously, starting with Kevster's showstopper. They weren't able to find anyone from it, but they did get an entry frag kill onto Jelly, and so that really set the site up. It was just the unfortunate moment where you have both of the Killjoy ultimates being put down, both of the lockdowns happening at the same time, and then getting caught inside of that, which I really think put them into a rough position. And being detained by that is not something that you want to happen. You had to stay on site, though, obviously, because you don't want to give it up. Otherwise, you'll be able to, you're going to have to fight your way back onto it again. But still, though, really just rough moments there for Delaware, but I did like what I saw.
Yeah, I think, that's so much better than we've seen before. Sadly, that's the last time that we get to see it. But that's the first time we've really seen aggression in them using their Yuto to get on site. But now, Kaz has already started this next one. No rest for the weary. On site,
take a lot of... Ooh.
Doesn't have the angle.
Yeah, just wasn't looking behind. Was looking in the wrong direction as Kaz was flushed out with the grenade. Unfortunately, it flushed him out right to their teammate, Lelk. They see someone coming to them, and it's just going to be a clean right click in the head. And unfortunately for them, they were not able to do much more than that. Stuck over there in CT main. So there you have it. DePaul just as deadly on attack as they are on defense, looking towards being able to get onto that match point.
Clean round, though, from DePaul. That's that aggression that we really love to see from them. In Delaware, though, looks like they want to buy up. They're not willing to take this to overtime. They want to try to keep it right here.
I don't blame them for that idea, though. I really don't, because they want to make sure that they deny DePaul the match point. They want to make sure that they're setting themselves up for a, like, at least something happening here. But 11-2, that is going to be rough no matter how you cut it time-wise. And we're just seeing straight up aggression. Unfortunately for Kaz, they thought they took down the turret. Didn't do it quite in time. Lelk is just going to hide out here in hell. And as Kaz was going in, just looking at the wrong place at the wrong time. Unfortunately for Lelk, there's only so many places that you can go when you're stuck down there in hell. And once everybody knows your location, it's really just at that flushing you out. And that's exactly what we just saw right there. DePaul University now on to match point. University of Delaware forced that round, and so now things are going to be bleak for them. They're not going to have the guns that they could have had.
Yeah, I think in that situation, you almost just have to push for the overtime. You know, win the 10 rounds in a row, just take it to the next thing. Because it's just a lot easier to do that with rifles than it is to, you know, do that with Stingers going up against Spectres. At the end of the day, you gotta trust your equipment first and foremost. But Delaware buying all the way up as much as they can now for one last hope. Meanwhile, DePaul stacked up on this B site, ready to take it. Already Yuto being thrown out. Silva's trying to get the Ares down. It's going to be Suki who wins out on the penetration duel. And now this flash ready to go, and nope, not going to get the chance, as everyone from DePaul is choosing that. It's time to leave.
Yeah, it's time to get out of here. It's time to rotate, but they're rotating together as a whole unit. They're going to leave behind Sova to make sure that they cover their angles in mid. Listen, Lelk, the attempt was there, my friend. It really was, but you saw down the barrel, and on the other side of that barrel was basically the entirety of DePaul University minus Suki. Now Suki's going to come up through Treehouse. I don't think really anybody expected him there. Alex sees him now, and so the jig is up. Suki's going to have to be that much more careful. They're going to throw out a couple of shock darts, maybe be able to catch someone. Now Kaz has set themselves up in heaven. Anyone who tries to walk through that smoke is going to get headshot like what we just saw there from Kevster. And now this is a mad dash for the remaining 2 members. Make that 1 member of Delaware left. They have got to do everything they can, but unfortunately for Panda, Kaz is not going to allow them to do anything. DePaul University taking a sit, 13-2.
And just amazing play throughout there. I gotta say, I love the understanding of DePaul here, especially with their post plants, and knowing, you know, hey, we don't necessarily have to win these fights, we just have to stall out this time and force them exactly where we want them there. It felt like DePaul was just playing, you know, not so much for individual picks, not for so much for individual plays, but for that map space and just closing off different options and, you know, making their lives a lot easier than it would be otherwise.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing, once again, about Ascent as well, we have to talk about was the pick of University of Delaware. DePaul University is the team that chose Lotus. And so there has to be a reason for that. There has to be some understanding of whether or not they can show out on that map? We're going to find that out after a short break. DePaul University showing up hard with a win on Ascent. Now looking to be able to close out this series on Lotus, their own map pick, and of course the newest map introduced into Valorant. So talked about it before we went to break. They gotta have something up their sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, no team is going to choose, a map like this early, this quick, without having, come up with some strat, some interesting thing. And the thing that I would, really say to keep in mind here is the fact that that last map was Delaware's map. DePaul stole their map pick, and now, if they were that confident on the other team's map pick, you can only imagine how confident they're going to be on their own. And wait, Sago doesn't pick Harbor here, right?
Please don't. Oh my god.
Please.
This can't
I
be
love
the
him.
plan.
I love Harbor. He's very pretty, but
gameplay wise, you got a Viper already, so that kind of covers that.
Less pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like DePaul has chosen Lotus. University of Delaware very firm in what they wanted to go with, at least agent composition wise. DePaul still taking a little bit of time to figure out what they want to do on their own map pick.
Yeah. Maybe just need some conversating, some working out. It's nope. Okay, Harbor.
They do it. Oh my gosh.
I actually don't hate Harbor. I think he's very, very good at exactly one thing, and it's wanting to rush a site and be amazing for 20 seconds. If you want to have the best 20 seconds of your life, then Harbor is the pick. If you want to spread out your stuff and like play neutrals and go for those engagements that we're used to seeing at this level of Valorant, I think he's kind of garbage. So if they can use Harbor correctly, and which is just the let's rush on site, let's get set up, and then Viper can deal with the post plant stuff, I think that's an amazing way of doing it.
I think you bring up a really great point with that too, because of the reason why they wanted to go for the double controller setup that they currently have. You might be able to use, like I said, there has to be a reason why they want to go for this, why they want to especially whip out Harbor, who has been kind of languishing in the Valorant scene, competitive scene pretty much. Not a very high win rate nor high pick rate on top of that. So we'll see. Maybe DePaul wants to go on this brand new map of Lotus, a very beautiful map too on top of that. And once again, a 3-site map, so a lot of different options that they can use on what they want to do here. And already the wall has gone down, and it seems like, let's go ahead and do this. We're leaning towards A for now. What is the ultimate strategy going to be?
Well, there's that Harbor, so it looks like they're just trying to clear out all of this space before they really, even get to site. And so far, they haven't really been contested with it. Nautical here, looking to find a little bit, as Sago is absolutely just throwing these concussed waves, but you gotta not walk into your own team's paint shells.
And now Nautical comes away with a double kill using that little frenzy.
Spike down A.
Jelly, meanwhile, on the other side of the world, their entire team is dead. Now they have to try and do this alone. There is no alone anymore. They're just all dead. University of Delaware putting down a statement on the map pick of DePaul.
I mean, I think that take wasn't bad from DePaul there. Like, I think that's exactly what they wanted to go for. They just walked into their own paint shells and did it fully clear sight. The plan was good. The execute was not so much. So round 2 here, I think we might hopefully see a little bit more like what they want to play. It does look like they've bought up in order to make that happen as well.
They want to try and make sure that they don't give Delaware any more room to work around with, and they have already been able to get. And so now Kevster is looking towards the sight lines here. Suki is going to go right on the site, come up with a kill, and Ghosty is going to do the exact same thing. 15 HP to their name, but at the very least, you've been able to get a couple of kills onto Delaware. A lot of people inside of DePaul, though, low on health.
Yeah, very, very low on health. So they don't have a gun advantage. Sago, though, not going to worry too much about that, as they're going to just pick up that Spectre. Eliminates gun advantage and gives them this flank angle. In 2v1, though, do they have the timing? They do! Picks up 3 kills, flawless for DePaul. There is no taking a round off for this team.
Sheesh. That was just really good timing from Sago. Like you said, it was backs turned, thought they were safe. Sago got the kill. Okay, he got the kill. Maybe he's walking away. No, Sago was more than happy to continue to walk forward. And as their backs were turned, just comes up with a double kill and closes out the round like that. So Total of 3 for Sago going into that second round. Now we're going to look towards the third, see how the adaptation is going to be here for University of Delaware.
Delaware just using those pistols. DePaul taking the guns they had from last round. It does look like Delaware wants to take this real aggressive up through mid. They've actually wrapped all the way back around. Meanwhile, no one's on C. So DePaul is using a lot of util to get here, but there's no one really to stop them from getting the spike down and getting everyone set up.
And so now we got to play the retake game from Delaware. They have to come all the way out here. Ghosty, go ahead and throw down a flashbang. Nautical coming in through the rotating doors is going to go out by the rotating doors as well. Jelly was in a really awkward position. There wasn't really anywhere for them to go, so the only option was to get a kill or to die. And they chose the to die option. Suki's gonna hold up on the high ground, and no one is gonna be none the wiser as to their location. Kaz with the triple. And another round for DePaul.
Yeah, I love DePaul's post plan. Like, even when, you know, they're putting themselves in that unsustainable position, they're there for a purpose. You know, they're setting up that crossfire, and they're acting so well. The timing between the two people on those different angles is just, perfection.
It really is. And to credit to Lelk, at the very least, they were able to stall things out for a little longer. He put pressure on that lane going into C main. And so it gives you a little bit more time for DePaul to work with. But obviously, we saw Cav was just more than happy to kill literally everyone as they were trying to walk in onto site. And so now this time around is going to be a B site push right up into mid. A little bit more defensible than usually what we see on sites like Haven. But maybe just abandon this idea. Go through the rotating doors. It's C. They hear it. They hear the door rotating. They hear them wanting to go towards it. And so Kevstar had already set themselves up there. Really good kill onto Kaz as the paint shells land right on top of them. But Suki is on side alone. Gonna have to be just that little bit more careful. But I don't think quite yet Delaware realizes where they are. I'm gonna stall them out. See the aftershock. Now Nautical to throw in the boom bot. Suki's still holding this position. They're still holding right there. Not gonna be found out by that. Another flashbang comes in. No kills though. Suki. Bunch of kills from Panda.
Saga here is behind from everywhere. Gonna find a kill with it, but Kalik, stalwart in their defense. Not getting shaken at all by the fact that they have to swing 180. That's gonna be Delaware taking this one. This looks a lot more even and a lot more contested than we thought it would be coming into it.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, Loki. This is a moment where DePaul University so boldly chose this brand new map of Lotus. Maybe they were expecting to really throw Delaware off their game, but Delaware so far has not faltered. They have been able to stand up and stand tall. The Titans that have been DePaul, especially after a map where they went 13-2 on.
So now here's the question that I start thinking of. You know, is this a pick of like, we love Lotus, Lotus is cool? Or is this a pick of, we really hate Fracture, Split, and Haven, and we want to not play those. We want to try to get Lotus out of the way first.
Is an interesting choice, regardless, and a very good question, actually, Loki. Honestly, out of those maps, though, Haven, I feel like, would be a really good place to go to. But Lotus is their choice, and that is where they feel like they're going to be able to have the most effectiveness as well. So far, though, we're going to see the lockdown come out. And it seems like with the way that things are set up here on A site, you are going to see them scramble away from this. So DePaul is going to have full control of it. No one getting detained by it. University of Delaware may give it up, but now they can regroup. They can go in together as a 5-stack and begin the attempt to try and get it back. We've seen the Jet use both of their smokes. No engagement, no going in. Suki, unfortunately, was flashed, and so Panda gets away with 1 kill onto there. It's going to become... You see that we have the Harbor smoke down. As anyone tries to come through, it's still going back and forth right now. But Kalik, a 3K, and Panda to get the final kill. University of Delaware has taken the lead.
Yeah, and they're just playing it so cleanly, you know, front to back. DePaul last map was, you know, kind of trademarked those great post plants, those nice sustainable angles, you know, places where they could always help each other out. But here on Lotus, all of their positions are so much more unsustainable, and Delaware is doing such a good job on this punish game, isolating different targets, using their util to force them out, and making their life as easy as possible. Meanwhile, DePaul just can't find their way out of it.
No, they can't, and it's just really it's Delaware operating at peak efficiency right now. This time around, it's going to be another C-site push from DePaul University. They're going to have to try and walk through the Astra smoke, but be careful, be wary. The Harbor Wall has come up on top of the Viper Wall, so a lot of vision being denied for Delaware. DePaul is going to be the bold ones to try and walk on. They do have that side pressure, and Sago is going to try and set themselves up for anyone who decides to walk in through that entryway. It's going to become that much more deadly for them. Kevster, the entry to go inside, fearless as always, and it's going to be these flashbangs time and time again. They're giving Delaware so much value that DePaul hasn't been able to figure anything out. A good kill with a Bucky though, but only one from Jelly. Another defuse from Delaware, and continuing to push forward in that lead.
And we were talking earlier about how great those angles are from DePaul. You know, how everyone setting it up, how they're able to get those crossfires. Delaware's taken that and made it completely their own. You know, great job there from Calic, great job there from Lelk. You know, great job especially from Kevster there to set up two different aggressive angles where they still had options to leave if they needed to. You know, that's that important thing, is making sure that each position they're in is sustainable more than anything else. And right now, Delaware has got that on lock. DePaul here, looks like we're going to see the first actual neutral from them.
You really got to start shaking things up here. You got to try and see, what are we doing? Why is Delaware being so effective against us? And I'm going to be honest, Loki, I think it is all coming down to Delaware's breach. Those flashbangs, time and time again, have been so vital to the success of what Delaware is wanting to do, which is completely disrupting DePaul University. Every time that flashbang has been used, or at the very least, most every time, there's been a kill that follows shortly thereafter. And whether or not that's due to DePaul's aggressiveness, or just feeling the overconfidence from them, Delaware has been taking advantage of it every single time. And now you can see, this is a really slow push from them. They're learning their lesson. They don't want to engage too quickly, and they want to make sure that they're covering all their angles. Whether or not that's also due to the fact that they're in a sort of a light buy, could also be a thing. Could also be a factor to consider. Nautical just reads it so perfectly.
Yeah, Nautical just right there. Great angle, great patience. Just hold that down. Sago going to be able to find them back off of a great switch. Going to be able to get through that utility in order to do it. Sago wants to take the fight up into heaven. They got to get through some smoke, and they just got timinged as well. They don't know that Calic and Lelk have gotten right past them. They're ready to get back onto the rest of the team. Utility set up. There's the push.
Oh, they hit him because
not find him for the smoke. His own smoke works against them.
They were not expecting that. It was just poor timing all around, right on the other side. Jelly is going to get the kill onto Kevster, who is feeling a very bold move themselves, but you saw that they wanted to use the lockdown. You saw that they had it in their head. Jelly actually gets one kill using a classic of all things onto Calic. Sure, you may have gotten the defuse here. Jelly, filled with enthusiasm, a lot more than I would have expected, to try and get another kill. But they get away with two, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
You want the death there because it gives you more money. You know, you don't want to go and you don't want to save your Marshall and Classic.
Right.
So you do want the death. You don't want the money that it gets you for dying. And now DePaul is going to have their rifles in their hand. This is the first rifle round that they've had in, I think, 3 or 4 rounds at this point. Up until this one, they've just been forcing it so hard. And they are hard stacked on this A push again. Immediately gonna get concussed. So there's some time off the board before we even start.
All right. Now we're seeing the trademark DePaul aggressiveness now that they have big guns in their hands. Suki looking around wherever they possibly can to be able to use this showstopper. Out it goes, but no one to be found on the other side of that ultimate. Now it's going to be, once again, DePaul University planting down the spike on A side. The retake from Delaware time and time again has just been so good. Has set up in a different location, and now they've taken out the pain point of Panda. Love to trade things out. They're doing a fantastic job. Now they're looking for another kill as Ghosty walks back, but the trades back and forth so far have been really good for Delaware. They're not letting DePaul get away with anything right now. Oh, now a showstopper of their own from Nautical.
Lots of people pressing the X button. Suki gonna knock it down before the showstopper gets out. Meanwhile, Sago takes down Kevster. Only one left for Delaware now. It's Callum. They're gonna pick up Sago 1v1. There's a lot of util on that bomb, so they have to go take the fight. Jelly not gonna let that happen super easily. We just roll into this next one. It seems like DePaul right now, you know, they love that aggressive play, but I think they've just tuned it a little bit too much. You know, Kaz there got a great pick, and instead of pulling it back, you know, going to the safer spot, you know, giving themselves time to get reset, just tried to keep it running and keep it going, and they ended up paying for it.
That they did. At the very least for Delaware there, they killed out most of DePaul University, so you can see the economy not as good as it possibly could be, but still at the same time, look at Delaware, not able to make full buys. Kevs are forced to use a frenzy and full shields instead of being able to buy a gun, and still only 50 credits to their name, so regardless of how this round is going to go out, if they die, not looking too pretty for the next one. Thankfully for them, though, they do have the knives, they do have their ultimate, so still some things that they can use in their pocket, but there's going to be denied from them thanks to that lockdown from the KJ. And so now it's going to be DePaul University sitting down on C site, just aggressively set, not too aggressive this time around though, but Kevs are coming up with a really good headshot. Suki, hello, double kill? And Kaz coming up with one of their own and 10 HP. They're going to walk away from that. That's going to be another entry, but Kaz, undeterred, even with 10 HP, is still going to be able to hold the line. Ghosty to come up with another kill. And that is DePaul University back in the form that we know them best, Loki.
Because they're playing it more sustainable. They brought friends this time for the aggressive angle. You know, send the double peek, have the clean timing. That's the clean executes that we want to see, where if the plan goes wrong and you miss a shot or two, there's still options on how to deal with it. You know, your friend can help out, kind of pick you up where you fell down. DePaul now very much in the mix and probably going to have a nice conversion here, as Delaware, not a whole lot of money to their name.
This might be what DePaul needs to really begin their momentum. 2 rounds in a row, and now a light buy from Delaware is going to force them to... Well, you can see that Delaware is going to try and make some bold moves here. Kevster is paid for, at the very least, for their boldness with 1 kill before being traded out by Kaz, and now it's C-Site take from DePaul University once again in a scramble from Delaware to try and get there as quick as they can. But now we're going to have Panda throwing in their ultimate. Unfortunately for them, though, not much is going to be found on the other side. Apologies. Not from Panda. It's actually from DePaul.
They're going to find Calic with a nice frenzy. So, you know, get that out of it if nothing else. Lauk here. Up with Nautical. Both of them have guns, it looks like. So, no gun advantage. Tries to go for that cool little slide play. You know, doesn't, if you do it right, doesn't hit you up in the air. That time it does. So they don't get the 0 spread movement shot that you really want. Off all that raised satchel pack. Sad times. DePaul here, brought it back to 5-5, so not a huge risk of this half going poorly for them, as they're just set right back up in it. They've got money as well, so even if they lose this round, no worries for buying for the last round of the half. Meanwhile, Delaware, if they die here, it's probably going to be another conversion for DePaul.
I agree. The economy for DePaul looking very good, and Delaware struggling. So we're going to be looking towards a, at the very least, round win here and coming up with not too many deaths. Be able to secure another round for themselves. Suki throws out the boom bot. Boom bots go out and meet each other in the middle, so that information has been given out. No, Nicole really tried their best. Unfortunately, Calic was there to make sure that they're going to come up with a double kill. And this is what I'm loving. Delaware right now, Loki, they're working together as a team. They're able to cover each other's backs and able to cover each other's weaknesses. And though DePaul has planted the spike, we see exactly what's happening here. Now the only one left is Ghosty. And as the words were literally coming out of my mouth, there is no one left. Delaware taking this round in a very pivotal round they needed to win.
Yeah, Ghosty got turned into a ghost. Yeah. Has to watch from the spike as everyone gets their guns set up ready to go. And so now Delaware, at the very least, they get a tie out of this one, and they do get to keep their guns. No easy conversion. DePaul had money in the bank, so they get to set their rifles right back up. Thing that I'm looking at right now, though, look at Kaz, that little ready next to their name. They've been holding that one for a while, trying to get it set up ready to go. No other chance to use it other than right here, right now, so we finally get to see that just lockdown site. If Sago gets a kill, that's one for them. Same thing with Suki. So ult economy pretty even across the board, even though Delaware has a couple more ready to go. Paul still has a pretty good setup here. Just need to get some kills.
Absolutely. At the very least for Delaware, using that Rolling Thunder is going to be a nice retake if they're able to make that happen now. But here goes the Harbor ultimate to be able to engage onto site. The thing that I don't think they were expecting, though, is that no one's on there. And I think that's really what they're banking on. That Delaware is banking on. They just use the Rolling Thunder. They use the lockdown. They keep them stunned. They keep them concussed. But there's just enough room for DePaul University to avoid the site, avoid being caught inside of the lockdown. So they just wait for that to go away. But you're wasting a lot of time. And now Delaware re-engages back on the site. Low gets a 4K. Another one. Unbelievable from this player.
Switching sides.
Players from Delaware are just so good at helping each other. Like that's really all it is. That they're just so good at helping each other. First and foremost, anytime anything happens, they make sure that their friend is covered. They make sure they're either having utility or a rifle to cover their exits. You know, their macro on this stage is so clean that it sets up those micro mechanic personal plays, because they know, hey, I can go out, I can play aggressive, I can be that guy, because if for whatever reason I'm not that guy, I've got another person behind me who can, you know, just pick me right back up. When DePaul was doing that a couple of rounds ago, that's what they were really flying on, is having, you know, their friend ready to pick them up. But since then, it seems like Delaware has, you know, just turned it one notch higher. You know, been even more friends. As Suki, early kill onto Nautical, great grenade.
These pistol rounds have been interesting for Suki. The first paint shells was a kill onto their teammate. Now the second pistol round kill with the paint shells was on the right target this time around. Calic wanted to go try and get a kill, so they do get one. But we got trades going back and forth. Unfortunately for University of Delaware, they're the ones on the back foot right now. Sago to feel very bold with that shorty, but Kevster trying to be the hero, got 3, but unfortunately, it turns out Jelly was just a little bit too much for them. DePaul University winning out in that pistol round. We're seeing maybe that this might be the reason why they chose Lotus. Maybe they feel more confident as a defender side. With 2 controllers, you have more ways to be able to make the map play to how you want it to be played on defense.
You absolutely do, and especially with a map, you know, as wide as these 3 sites maps are, only having one controller sometimes does get really tricky, because then you have, you know, as opposed to half of the map locked down or mid locked down or whatever, you have sometimes not even a third of it locked down. Already there's a lot of aggression up in mid. Seems like Delaware more than willing to take it, trying to get to C site where they're going to have to get through some smokes and wait for that door to open. It just spits them right out. There's only one person on site. No one else for DePaul has really rotated over yet.
Gotta be nervous if you're Sago, though. The last time you threw up your wall, there was someone on the other side, and indeed so, they read that appropriately. But it's just gonna be Delaware saying, okay, the wall comes up, B site, there's someone on there, at the very least we know there's Harbor, so let's just go ahead, abandon that thought process, and lean towards C. Let's start going towards C. Meanwhile, though, you see that Lelk watching A, making sure that if anyone tries to come up through the flank, they are going to be met with the resistance of a full force KJ. A lot caught inside of that aftershock, and so it's going to be a lot of pain there. Panda and Lelk, the combination of the two, once again, the teamwork from Delaware has been immaculate so far. A lot of kills coming in the favor of Delaware this time around, and where DePaul had the advantage with the guns and with the round win, of course, has been pretty much taken away from them. University of Delaware in this force is, hey, coming up big.
Bomb's going down. It's just Jelly. Bulldog to their name. Doesn't look like there's a ton of double angle. They're just going to have to get through Lelk, but that's a challenge in and of itself. Lelk finds the kill and gets a Bulldog as a reward for it. And it doesn't seem like either team's really great at winning that conversion for this pistol round on Lotus. So far, it's always gone to whoever, you know, lost pistol.
Lotus so far has proven to be DePaul's weakness, their own map choice. University of Delaware seems to be the ones in control here. If you were to ask me which team picked this, I would have absolutely told you Delaware based on how they're performing so far. And if DePaul is able to bring this back and actually win this map, Delaware put out a really good showing right now, but I'm not seeing that right now as Kaz flashbang right in the center. There was literally nothing they could do. Not against the full 5-stack force of Delaware walking up through C main. And now really, you're gonna have to expect Jelly, you're gonna have to expect Ghosty to try and get the retake happening here. Oh no, no, Ghosty. Nautical was just got a free prize right there and a good headshot on top of that. Really at this point, for DePaul, you just had to try and get your kills as they come along. Sago gets 1. And that is it for DePaul. University of Delaware. This is a team that is smiling from ear to ear right now.
Yeah. I mean, DePaul is just full pedal to the metal, full gas, ready to go. You know, aggressiveness to the ends of the earth. And Delaware is just playing it calm. They're letting, you know, there's aggression when it needs to be, when it's covered. When it's not, they're playing that sustainable spot and just playing that punish game more than anything else, playing around each other. Teamwork, absolutely making the dream work right now. I don't know how often we talk about an amazing punish game in terms of Valorant, but here Delaware absolutely playing exactly that game style and doing an amazing job with those punishes.
I couldn't agree more. It seems like DePaul, the lone wolf tactics that they kind of have sometimes, is starting to work against them. University of Delaware is winning out in a lot of the fights. Why, Loki? Because they're working together as a team for the most part, right? If one person is going by themselves, usually it's not going to be for long. Look at what Nautical is doing. They're taking out the turret. They're giving time for the rest of the team to reconvene together. And then they're going to work together to try and go onto Bean site. Meanwhile, on the other side, right, leaning towards C, you're not seeing them work alone. You're not seeing them work without the help and without the efforts of the entire team going there. And so now that we have some of that information in B, Epster is just going to say, nah, I'm good. I'm going to pop my knives. I'm going to get a kill onto Kaz. And now we're just going to take C-Site. The rest of University of Delaware walk through the rotating doorway. Ghosty has finally had enough of Nautical's shenanigans, but Kevster is going to shenanigan right back onto Ghosty. Now University of Delaware in full control of C and Spike planted.
Lau gonna pick up another one. Sago not gonna find that. Is Suki now out on a flank? Jelly's on the opposite one, looking for a pinch. Not gonna find anyone as no one's in the right position for it.
Oh,
nice swing onto Kevster. Great flick, finds a kill. But at the end of that, Delaware has the post plant, and walking onto site ended up being a death sentence.
Delaware's just so good at filling the hole right now.
For Delaware right now, and every round feels incredibly earned as well. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is just every round is not, not coming out of nowhere. It's not just off of, oh, look at this super lucky flick, cool play. Not every round is earned based off that macro. None of it feels like a fluke. DePaul here needs to make changes.
Yep. Unfortunately for them, though, the economy in shambles for the moment. So we're going to see a couple of sheriffs and nothing but light shields all over. And you see that University of Delaware is just playing to their strengths right now. And Kevster was a little quiet on the last map, but they've been singing so much more here on Lotus. And Loki, what did we say time and time again? Delaware fills the holes so well. They're able to cover each other so well. When one goes down, the other comes back in for the trade.
Jelly now, trying to push it in. Nautical gonna immediately say no to that. That's their third on the round. Ghosty, meanwhile, getting U-toed out. Has to find somewhere. Nope, you're not gonna find anywhere. Oh, it's got the angle covered, and so no one is finding any sort of headway through them. Now, 11 rounds on the board for Delaware. DePaul needed to make changes very quickly last round. Need to make them even more this round, because this is the last chance they're going to have guns in their hands. They need to win 6 rounds in a row at minimum, 7 preferably.
A tall order for any team. But if there's any that could possibly do it, it would be DePaul. They do have 2 ultimates that they can use as well, so pretty much got to do whatever you can to stall things out here. And give yourself round wins. Gotta make sure that you're using it effectively. These walls from Sago, though, it's just such a questionable decision from them time and time again. And though they walk through, hey, oh, Jelly! Now ready to begin their own singing their own praises. Now inside of the smoke is gonna be Kevster. They just weren't ready for what Jelly was bringing to the table. Now they get 3K of their own. Velk is a good player, but in a 1v5, it is a tall order, and indeed so. Too tall for them. Jelly, a 4K this round.
Yeah. And that one comes again off of that, good util-filled aggression. Ghost, or as I was, Sago does a great job of laying that wall down, gives them a nice slow, baits themselves out just a little bit to draw them right into Jelly's line of fire, and Jelly, the great mechanics, great execute to finalize that play, ends up finding them a 4-kill and a quick round win without putting too many people in danger. You know, you only lose 1 for that round win, and Lord knows the economy cannot take a ton of deaths when you're trying to win this many in a row.
This time around, DePaul still holding on to all of their ultimates so far. The doors rotate, the smoke goes down, but Kefster not walking through, not wanting to take any chances there. Meanwhile, the one who takes the initiative is going to be Jelly, putting down their lockdown. On the other hand, Lelk is going to try and lock things down as well. So two lockdowns for the price of 1 round, but nobody to be caught inside of it. Sago is going to hold that angle as Lelk walks right past it, but unfortunately, they do get the kill onto Lelk. He's going to be traded out, and Kellic is going to get another one on top of that. So you've been able to take off 2 members from DePaul University. Let's go ahead, rotate to A, especially with the way that things are set up for DePaul. This is going to be free for Delaware.
50 seconds on the clock now. No one, in the neighborhood from DePaul, so Delaware just their chance to walk onto site, get things set up. Nautical swinging their stuff all the way to the back. There's Suki there to fight them. Plant bomb is down. Suki here more than willing to wait for the rest of their team. Flash goes out. Great coverage. Suki knocks Nautical down. Now 3v3. All of Delaware boxed in on this site, specifically in the box. Kalak looking for something. Suki has flown over the site, finds a kill. Ghosty gets the cool trade out back on him. And now it's just Panda for Delaware, and Kaz shuts it down. Fearless on the last map, Smoker on this one. And that is exactly the type of Smoker play that we want to see.
All right, DePaul still in this game, still making it work for them, and they got a little bit of wiggle room. 2 on top of that, because University of Delaware not quite at that match point, just still 1 round away, tantalizing as ever. But DePaul denying them the opportunity to be able to get even that far. And of course, you wanted to deny them that. That way, well, first of all, you give yourselves a little bit more breathing room. You don't have to worry about them winning the map potentially, but you also don't have to worry about going into overtime if you are able to make that heroic run through. So for DePaul, 2 rounds in a row, the momentum might finally be shifting in their favor. Let's see how this round is going to go.
Already, bit of gunfire on C side as Saga's going to lay out that wall. Alarm bot out, almost gets taken away by the paint shells. Just not quite, as most of Delaware seems kind of boxed in by these, smoke walls at the moment. Will fall soon. Now they have. Flash goes out. Everyone gets caught by it, so no push as a result of that. Another wall being put right back up from this harbor. Kepster looking for something. This is only a minute left on the clock now.
An interesting wall, I have to say, but one that
it does the job.
It does do the job. It's keeping Delaware on the back foot. And look at how Delaware's playing, just so slow. So they're so nervous about what could happen there. But I mean, Delaware, what do you have to be nervous about when you have Nautical coming up with 2 inside of that showstopper? It was all about the setup, lulling DePaul into a false sense of security. What are they going to be doing? It's just Delaware going hard. The thing that has me interested, though, is Lelk all the way on the other side. So a potential for a flank here from this KJ. You're going to have to do it quick, though, because that Rolling Thunder just went in.
Rolling Thunder huge. Everyone concussed. Suki going to find one with the paint shells. Needs to get out of the line of sight, though. Has to push it back inside quickly. Nautical found them fast enough. Nautical finds another one. Ghosty tries to get it. Never mind. Kallich shuts it down. And Delaware on round 12, after a little bit of a scare, managed to pull it back.
Nautical looking clean this time around. That was an impressive showing for them. 2 to enter, 2 to hold before finally being brought to their knees. But still, Delaware, the patience game from them is nothing short of impressive right now, Loki. They took that round, they wanted to plan things out, and they did it so well. They did it so brilliantly.
Yeah. Now DePaul, perfect Valorant from here on out. For 4 rounds in a row, the only thing that will keep their chances on this map alive, keep them from going to that map 3. It's not do or die here, but it is pretty close. Chance to win 4 rounds to shut it down versus chance to win 13 rounds to try to find the win. I'm going to pick 4 every time.
I am too. Just numbers like that. That's a good opening, though, from Kaz to take down Nautical. A lot of damage being taken, but no deaths being converted. A rare misstep from Delaware in not being able to make that trade happen. And something I don't think that they were really expecting. Seaside is just so well defended right now. Meanwhile, though, A and B could be a potential pain point, a pressure point we're looking towards, especially with the 2 members from University of Delaware who are leaning towards that right now in Lelk and the Astra. So walking through, you break down the door, and it seems like, all right, let's just go ahead, abandon A, walk towards B. But Kaz is still there to make sure that they're covering that and to set down the Viper's Nest. Set it down, set it, walk away, and hope for the best. See what you might be able to do here.
And I got lucky there. They were concussed.
30
That
seconds
almost
left.
could have been bad. They had just the right amount of time that they needed to get that Viper pit out and have enough smoke to protect them. And that is going to lock down all of B. Now Delaware, 20 seconds left. Has to make a play. Or just decide to save it at this point. Kalik makes the play very quickly, takes down Suki, but going to get flashed as a result of it. Now Ghosty drops back,
left.
realizes they just need to find some of that time. Only 8 seconds on the board, only 2 seconds to plant. Bomb is down. In just enough time. They might lose their life board, at least a lot of health. Is that Molly going to do work? Sago now looking for something. They have 1 with them. They need to clear out Kevster at some point, or else it's going to get whacked from behind. Kalik runs into the site, but now Kevster's turned around. They don't know he's there. Goodbye. Never mind. Not goodbye.
1v1.
Trades it out. Now a 1v1 with about 20 seconds left on the clock. So it goes out. Touches it. Gotta get that concussed out.
So good.
Fight. Jelly! Clutch plays to win the round, and DePaul lives on.
That was an excellent read from Jelly to be able to figure out where exactly that breach was hiding. And then winning out in the 1v1 too, of course, on top of that. Expertly well played and a successful maneuver from Jelly. And echoing what the statement you just made, a lifeline has been given to DePaul. They're still in this, and they're still making this work for them as best they can. The economy, though, this is not the best position for them to be in.
Well, I mean, if you gotta win out regardless, you know what's the harm at the end of the day? If they do continue to win out, life will get a bit easier for them as Delaware is finally starting to come to the end of their big nest egg. Wall getting put out again. This time Delaware just walking right through it, no fear. They really want to attack this A site super hard. It's kind of in their bread and butter at this point. Another wall coming out. Nautical not as amped to run through this one as Jelly is in position trying to deal with it. Most of DePaul has rotated back over to this site at this point. They've kind of got, the number that Delaware likes to sit here. Revolving door open, and so a transfer to B is able, and that looks like that's gonna be the call.
And you're going to leave Jelly behind to make sure that they anchor the site. A rolling thunder to go in, but no one to be found on the other side of it. A really good move from DePaul University and the way that they were set up. Clean executions, though. Clean from both Kaz, Ghosty, and Suki. I know how to count, trust me. Well, a heroic maneuver, a heroic attempt to try and make that happen. But heroism is not going to be the name of the game for there. DePaul University, a very important round that they needed to win, has been won.
This feels like an entirely different DePaul than we've seen before these last 3 rounds. They've really pulled back on that aggressiveness switch, on that personal play switch, and are letting the game come to them. Letting Delaware force themselves into space, force themselves to make a play, forcing Delaware to take space, rather than just trying to take the fight right to them and play this so aggressively. Delaware forced to make a change at this point and go over towards this A site. Already gunfight. Suki getting lost. Just congratulating them on, forcing Delaware in. That time tries to fight for the space and gets punished for it.
I think, too, they were trying to throw out the paint shells, but in doing so, threw away their entire life. And not even really applying that much pressure. Didn't do any damage. Nothing really came of what they were attempting to do, which is not the thing that you want to be. Oh no, Sopko, you pulled out the knife. Was not expecting Lelk to be the anchor there. And that is going to be your punishment for that. Jelly, though, it's the same thing. It's just such good control of the site from Delaware, not allowing any angle. I got to be honest from that. Kaz was, Delaware is playing at a different level right now. All that's left is Ghosty. In this final round, this match point, you're going to have to do a lot here, Ghosty. You got to kill everybody, and you had to get the spike defused. You're already starting off with 1. That spike, though, you're running out of time, my friend. You are going to have to do some heroics. Unfortunately for them, it is not going to be there. University of Delaware, 13-10 on Lotus.
Running out of life there as well. And just like that, we are going to go to a map 3. Both teams stealing the other's map pick, but don't go anywhere. We have Haven after this, another 3-site map. We'll be right back after a short break.
It is a tied series between University of Delaware and DePaul University. Both teams winning on the opposing team's map choice. And so now we're going on to the final map of Haven, another 3-site map. And so a lot of potential for chaos here, but less chaos than what we saw from Lotus. This is a map that's been out for the entirety of Valorant, and so things should be understood. They should be knowing how to play this.
Yeah, I will say there is still a lot going on with Haven. Because it's so wide, it makes it really, really hard to find those rotations, to find those big macro plays, unless you are utterly and completely prepared for them. You know, everyone is on the same page. Everyone knows how you want to flow. Everyone knows, you know, who needs to fill in whose spot when you rotate so that you're not overdoing things and you're still there in time. You don't have that, things can get really sketchy. You know, we saw on the last three-site map with how wide that was, how sketchy it does get when you're not rotating to the right place.
Agreed. It's all about the response. From what we saw on Lotus from DePaul University, I don't think we were too happy with it, Loki. The site retake from them was just usually a mad scramble to try and get back over there. Meanwhile, Delaware, completely different team from what we saw on Ascent. It was a team that was in control almost the entire time. They knew exactly what they needed to fix, and then they made that fix. And it was just so perfect from them, whether it was having to retake the site, whether it was having to ensure on just and then holding it, did it perfectly almost every single round.
Yeah, and they made sure every time, you know, we're going to fill in everyone else. You know, we're going to fill in the holes that other people are leaving when they do those plays. No one is doing anything uncovered. You know, Delaware supports Delaware. Delaware sticks together through all, you know, facets of their play. And that's been the deciding factor, is who's willing to support each other, who's willing to, you know, grab their buddies, you know, get their buddies back and make sure everything's covered and play off that util, play off those team plays. On the last map on Haven, which was the map that's a little bit more unknown than all of the others, Delaware made, you know, worked that to their complete angle. No fear through any of them. Now, DePaul, back on the jet, back on the comp that, you know, seems like they've probably scrimmed it a bit more, backed on a map that has a lot more comps written out and a lot more plays written out, and it's a lot more defined than the latest map that's been put up.
Absolutely.
So we might see, you know, a little bit something different.
I'm just happy there's no harbor, to be completely honest. If I'm gonna throw out any shade, it's just the harbor. Maybe not the best choice. It worked out in a couple of instances, but I think there probably might have been a little bit of a better option there. Kaz not found out. They're still holding this corner. Kevster to be kind of the bait there for Nautical when they make that swing to get the kill onto Kaz. Suki, on the other hand, is gonna show Kevster the business end of that classic, the attempt to try and use the paranoia, but Nautical is not going to be caught out by that. Instead, they're going to be caught out by the breach flashbang. Jelly was not looking at the right place at the right time, so you give him the double kill. It's back and forth right now, but all alone, all by themselves once more is Panda on A site. They are in control of the spike, but they could be doing a pincer maneuver from DePaul University. They just had to make sure that they're going to coordinate this correctly, but they didn't, Loki. It may have been a little bit of a miscommunication error going on there. It's another 1v1, Panda alone this time, but instead of Jelly, it's Sago. So who's gonna come out on top there? It's Sago with a right click! And a clutch win for them on this first pistol round.
I love classic right click so much. Sometimes it hands you rounds and other times it hands you absolute death. And it's just how are the Valorant gods feeling today. That time for Sago, they're feeling very nice. University of Delaware, though, once again, not willing to go quietly into the night. They want to buy up and take this battle right here, right now. Not willing at all to give any space to DePaul. Paul, on the other hand, going to be able to grab those Spectres and full shields. Other than get, oh, nope, Ghosty has also come along for the ride. So DePaul fully kitted out.
Okay, this is something that we usually don't get to see from University of Delaware very often. It's just a full aggressive push in through mid, but alas, no one was there. Instead, DePaul turning their attentions 5-stacking towards A. Now it's time to go back over and anchor down the site for any flankers that are going to be coming up through there. And it's going to be met with nothing but death. Kevster is only going to be able to get away with one before they're finally brought to their knees. It's going to be an interesting moment here, though. Rotate back around. The spike has not been planted yet, but Sago is finally going to be able to put that down.
Planted.
I said Kevster went down. Kevster's still alive, still kicking, still breathing, still ready to apply some of that duelist pressure that we know that they're capable of. This is gonna have to make sure that they get through Suki to make that happen. Suki, I don't think was really prepared for what Kevster was gonna do. They made that swing, and it was kind of just like, okay, they're there. We'll get the kill. Kevster has 3 now. Gonna have to win out, but caught inside of that paranoia was going to be nigh impossible for them to do that. DePaul University looking good right now. This is a team that we remember from Ascent.
Yeah, this is a lot more what we're used to seeing. They do pick up the conversion on that one. On Pearl, no one managed to find their conversion this time. DePaul is going to grab it. And even going up against the forced round from Delaware. This means they get their bonus against another conversion, and their bank is very happy about it. Kaz actually here going to buy up to the Vandal, as well as another person on DePaul is going to buy up to the Vandal. So 2 rifles incoming. Panda holding down this angle really, really hard, but no one is there for them to hold it down with. It's just going to be the one lone Killjoy on this C site, which is where all of DePaul is set up.
Just waiting it out. Wait out the smoke. No reason to engage in through C main. It's a shooting gallery down there if someone's going to be able to do it. Instead, we're going to have Kevster. Sorry, we're going to have the Rays holding up close with the Bucky. Kevster being very bold right now. That Bucky waiting for anyone. But it's just a game of patience, waiting for that smoke to go down. All right, we're finally gonna have the entry in from Kaz, and it's gonna be good. 1 kill on the low, and unfortunately for Kev, this is the range of that Bucky's not good enough. And this was clean from DePaul, an unbelievable explosion onto site that University of Delaware just could not stand up to. Now the only one that's left is Calic. Hey, oh, what is that right there? A right click for Daze is gonna give them 1. Denied the flawless from DePaul. Really, sometimes that's all you can hope for in these eco rounds. Try to get a kill. Try to get as much as you can.
I mean, yeah, you just want to do damage, impact the economy, make them buy more, make it so that when you finally win your rifle round, that they don't have as much to come at you with, or you don't have to deal with as many rifle rounds on their side. You can get right into those conversions. So, and any amount of progress is good progress, I would say, especially on those save rounds. Here, everyone from Delaware gets to put a rifle in their hands. DePaul University not opting to go rifles all around. Saga really liking that Spectre and sees no reason to change quite yet. See Suki covering here a good angle as thinking about taking that A, but there's 3 people stacked up in sewers right now, so I don't know if, or 2 people as I was, so I don't know if it's just luck or whatever, but they choose the right option. Quiet early seconds, leading us into about 1:15 left.
Yeah, DePaul these past 2 rounds has been playing so slow. I don't want to give up too much information. They really want to keep University of Delaware guessing at all times where exactly they're at. And this is an interesting choice from them, I think, in wanting to go about doing this. Sago put down the lockdown, and now you're just going to walk right onto site. You're going to deny a lot of pressure from University of Delaware, who's still sticking around. They're trying to ride it out for as long as they can, and this is a really bold maneuver from Kevster, because now, as you're doing that, you're going to see 2 players getting detained, but somehow, University of Delaware is still coming up with 2 kills of their own.
Now on site, Spike is down. Everyone down though needs to make a play. We'll start the subs out a little bit. Kevster onto site. They got the satchel charges moving, but they're blind. No one able to come up on it. Suki in hell. Gonna find one. Sago almost gets knocked down. Suki saves him before immediately getting traded back out. Now it's just down to Jelly. They've got a rifle and a dream, but the nightmare has started. The dream has ended. Delaware finds their first round.
And a really good showing from Delaware. They were able to get the kills that they needed to, especially when you find Kaz out in mid, who is trying to anchor down, waiting for anyone who wants to transfer in through C, going to A. It was just really brilliantly well done from Delaware. A team who really struggled on Ascent, really started to shine on Lotus, has been having a little bit of a rocky start on Haven so far, but sometimes that's what it takes for Delaware. They need a little bit of time to really get rolling, and once they do get rolling, can really become a force to be reckoned with. But the question is, that is just off the back of round one. DePaul University Also a team that is not to be deterred by any of the losses that they've been met with so far. They're still putting in the most amount of pressure. Kaz sees the barrel of the turret. Unfortunately, the smoke not quite at the right place. Kaz thought that they were safe from it. Takes a little bit of damage before eliminating it. The spike is going to be planted on C. And Delaware still so far away from it as a team. They're going to have to watch out, especially for Sago, who's waiting for an unfortunate soul to peek their head across through this. I think they have the idea that they're there. But Sago, even inside the paranoia, gets 2!
Yeah, it goes off of the outlines to find their kills there. The good spray transfer helps them out. Now it's just down to Nautical after Kaz's kill. Nautical here in C long. Ghosty still clean on those movements. Gonna take them down. So not quite a flawless, but pretty close to it. As DePaul just continues this, and they're gonna have another conversion here.
Yep, DePaul feeling incredibly solid. Like I said, they're not gonna let one round deter them. They're not gonna let one round scare them away. And now they basically have another easy round ahead of them with University of Delaware in an incredibly light buy right now. See a couple of stingers. A bulldog really is all they have to their name to be able to try and take this round. And this is gonna be straight up. Let's go right into C. Let's not waste any time. Kevster to try and use the boom bot, but Kaz inside the smoke didn't see Kevster, but Kevster knew exactly where Kaz was able to get that really well done. Kevster! 3!
No way!
With a stinger! Kevster, what are you doing to this team right now? You are not supposed to be getting away with this. Delaware is not supposed to be doing this on an eco round. Now all this left is Sago. And they don't even have the spike. So this is gonna become that much more difficult. Guess what Delaware has now though? Oki, guns.
A lot of guns in their hands and only one Sago left to fight them. 30 shield, 90 health. Not a terrible place to be in, but only 50 seconds on the clock. At this point, you got to make the decision of whether you want to save or whether you want to go pretty soon here. All of Delaware set up on these different angles. They're not the best one. Only have to fight one person. Take them down. A little bit of health for it. Good trade any day of the week. Progress here into garage. Their own alarm.
30 seconds left.
There's no worries about that.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Swarm grenade. Down it goes. But guess what? Unbelievable.
That's
Kevster with a 4K. Unbelievable. From University of Delaware in a thrifty round. That was beautiful. And really, Kevster shone bright. So well done from them to be able to hold the line for the team. Now bringing it 2-4. And for the way that Delaware was working there, 3 members still left alive. And so you got the guns in your hands. That's a big boost to your mentals.
It's huge, especially since you don't have to spend a whole lot of your economy to get it. That means if you lose this round, you're going to have another one just ready to go right after it. No easy conversion for him, though. Conversions thus far have not been easy for DePaul. They've lost one of them. Lots of noise made over at A before the quick rotation onto C. Everyone for DePaul out of there like a bat out of hell. Just leaving one person behind. Sago thinking about throwing down the Killjoy, but no one's here on C. You don't have to throw it down quite yet, friend. Smoke's going out at this point. Yeah, rotation's not quite coming out from Delaware.
Yeah, they're still holding. And I also like the discipline from Sago to not plant down the lockdown. You plant, then they can use it to defend the site for retake coming through. Ooh, hello. All right, Rolling Thunder coming. Kaz inside of the concussion. No way that Kaz was able to get a 3K there. I was going to lose my mind had Kaz been able to do that. But still, anyone who's trying to walk on the side is met with a full fury of DePaul University. There we go. That is a team that is trying to wipe the memories of what just happened last round. And they did so brilliantly. They didn't need to use too much to make that work for them. All University feeling good.
Still losing 2 people on the table. So not exactly where they want to be. If we take a look at that buy screen, though, we can see the outfit that Delaware has for themselves. They're still mostly holding rifles in their hands across the table. Some people lagging a little bit behind. Luck only on a Spectre, Panda only with that Bulldog. But that's better than nothing, especially with how that normal can, save round would go.
Teams Having DePaul University and another A push that we haven't seen from them in quite some time. 3 through main, 2 through sewers. We're gonna have the recon drone to try and gather information, but instead for University of Delaware, what do? We back away, we give them the site, and we just give it up. But now, the lockdown has been used. And so this is gonna be a free take for DePaul University to just go right onto site. And on top of that, a kill from Kaz onto Kevster, and it's just the icing on the cake there. The spike has been planted. The retake is gonna have to happen from Delaware. They do have options to try and make that happen. Fade ultimate, Omen ultimate, AJ ultimate. Still a lot in the pocket to work with. There it is, Nightfall comes in. Kaz, not inside of it, but unbelievable what Kaz is able to do. Even when denied vision, denied sound, and in such unoptimal positions for them, is still coming up cleanly almost every single time.
Yeah, I love Kaz on the duelist. I think their Viper is fine, but Jet, I think, is where they really, really shine. You can see why right there. They only need a semblance of a target. They can just gun them all down. No pause whatsoever. Here, DePaul's aggression absolutely coming out their way. And it's because, you know, 1, better execution, and then 2, better understanding of the map. And a map that allows more for those, you know, bursts of aggression than I think Lotus does. Lotus, you know, with a lot of those corners, a lot of big different, you know, you got to clear one space, get into the next space type deal. I don't think it allows for nearly as much aggression. We're here on Haven, since it's so understood, since there's so many, you know, different paths you can work with, so many different sight lines you can really use, and you understand all of them so much better, it allows for this aggression to come out with some so much better execution.
Agreed.
Already it does, or it looks like we're going to see a fight here in Broad. 2 people up there, Love being one of them, they got a stinger. Kaz, no chance there. Right through those doors, finding their death. Trying to find penetration kills now for DePaul before they're just going to smoke that off. Still, Sago up in these doors looking for a little bit more inside the smoke. Kaz's got a shotgun though. Sago! Trade in there, using that penetration to their benefit. Sprays them down. Jelly finds the trade, and we're right back at 3-3.
And now it's DePaul University hightailing it on over to A. Meanwhile, University of Delaware had the read, thought they were going to C, but they were not. It's all free real estate here on A. Such a good time. They're clearing everything, of course, but nothing to be found. And a spike that is about to be planted. Calic looking around, seeing that maybe someone lurking behind, maybe someone anchoring, but with the way that they're flanking right now, they have to go fast. Nautical is going to already take a pick here onto DePaul University, getting rid of the nuisance that has been ghosty time and time again. And it looks like Heaven is indeed where Nautical is shining at their finest. Suki tried their best, and you had to give it to them. 1 kill onto Nautical. You saw the flick, you saw the spray transfer try to happen. The try is the key word. Down they go in University of Delaware. It's the defuse.
DePaul here still has advantage on the half. They've got their 6 rounds, which
at
at the end of the day, that's all you need. You know, 6 rounds will get you in with an even score, which means you can try to do better on the next half and find your win there. Looking at this board right now, you can see still rifles all around for DePaul. That big nest egg and consistent rounds with low deaths have really helped him out. Delaware, though, full rifles all around. They've been really, really strong on those conversion rounds, on those save rounds. Now we just need to see if they can be, you know, amazing on the rifle rounds and find a ton of benefit there. Like DePaul, once again, ready to go over to this C. Maybe just to grab the skill orb, though. That does look like that's all they want. And so, gonna take this one and maybe head up to mid, as Sago has already found their way to these doors.
And Panda isn't on the wiser either. I don't think they have the read on where exactly Sago is. This is, or maybe they do, because Panda's still holding that angle. They're still watching out for it. So, yeah, I do think they have the read that Sago's hiding out there and waiting to make their move. Panda is just going to back away, it seems. So, Sago, the timing here. This is always the fun part about Valorant, is just the timing that you get from this. Well, look at DePaul University. Slow walk over.
Oh!
Nautical. Beautiful. Clean. Unfortunately, they get traded out by Ghosty. That's the one last thing that you have to worry about. Is anyone keeping an eye on Sago? They have been found out now, so that's a little less that they can work around with. And now it's time to use the ultimates that University of Delaware has in the bank. DePaul is going to answer back in kind, however, with a Hunter's Fury of their own. And Kevster wanting to recreate what Nautical was able to do in Heaven is not going to be able to do that. And the lockdown 2 on top of that, denied.
Sago is just being such a nuisance right now. Delaware can't push in with Sago still in that position. We saw there exactly why. The moment they try to do anything, Sago just peeks at the angle and poof, no more. And so because of that, no one from Delaware is really able to aggress onto this A site. You know, Kaz finds the one shot of Heaven. Everyone else is pinned. And Sago finds another one on a run and gun. Goodbye, Panda. Sago wants to keep it moving. Not going to find Kalik. So Kalik is going to be able to save their rifle. Everyone else, they are done and gone. Delaware right back onto this save round. Honestly, they've had more success on save than they have with rifle, though.
I gotta agree with you on that one, Loki. It's been so interesting to see how University of Delaware has performed using rifles versus when they're forced to save. And I think it's the mentality that they have, which is they tend to spread out a little bit more, and they also work together more, though. This is what we're missing. This is the thing that Delaware is lacking from what we saw on Lotus, is the teamwork that they had. Being able to cover the holes in the ship as they were coming along isn't really happening so far. And based on what we've seen so far, the success of Delaware is just based off of the mechanical skill. Now we're going to see the Rolling Thunder and DePaul University using that to entry onto site. Unfortunately for them, no one on site once again. It's just Delaware not quite having the right reads of what DePaul University is wanting to do. And Kaz getting the kill onto Panda, Kalik trading it out. Now Kevster with a showstopper. Indeed, putting the show to the end. Now the only one that's left is Sago, going to take some damage from the pain shells, forced further inside of sewers. Now Kevster has a more control of this lane, is going to be able to apply more pressure. The smoke goes down, and Sago has been denied vision. Puts down the turret, walks in through. Kevster wasn't quite ready for what Sago had cooking. They get the kill onto Kalik, denies it, denies the defuse for just a second before being brought to their knees. University of Delaware getting the defuse. Not the worst performance from them.
No, not really bad from either team there. No, obviously not the round that DePaul wanted, not the win that Delaware wanted, but at the end of the day, they both, performed well, especially leading into this last round. DePaul here wins this one. That sets themselves up very nice for a defending Haven. They only need to win 5 rounds should they win this one, which is right where you want to be. Haven, in my opinion, a little bit offensively sided just due to how wide it is. On the other hand, Delaware able to pull this back and make this loss exactly where they want to be. Again, 5 and 7 with a slightly offensively sided map. That's not a bad spot to be in. Once again, it seems like the A push is there as Delaware is going for a little bit of a loose hold on it, just kind of playing in that in-between area, waiting for DePaul to commit before possibly looking for a retake, because the retakes have been incredibly strong. Lots of resources thrown in from DePaul again, and still no one on site to really use them on.
It's just really unfortunate for DePaul. They have all these ideas of grandeur, just have not been able to capitalize on it so far because Delaware is all the way on the other side of the map. A couple of members found out inside of that haunt, and so Kevster is still trying to hold desperately onto Heaven, maybe to be able to find a kill there. And welcome to 2023 Valorant, where you literally can't see anything all the time. Well caught inside of the concuss, but still able to come up with 1 kill before they do get concussed. Nautical blinded, but he's going to try and throw out the haunt. Kevster is going to jump heroically from Heaven, and now Suki at 3K, maybe go for the 4? They go for the 4, and they get it. This is a good half for DePaul University. Probably not what they were expecting from University of Delaware, but still 8-4, a lot better than what they were in on Lotus.
I gotta say, I love Kevster playing Assassin's Creed. Works out pretty well for them for a moment until, I'm so sorry, until DePaul remembers that we're playing Valorant and angles are a very fun game mode. Suki there just finding a great shot. I do like how DePaul was adjusting to recognizing that, hey, Delaware is playing it very loose, they're playing for retake, so let's make sure that when we plant, that it's a really, really good post-plant setup, and wherever we are, we have a good shot on that bomb. It's really easy to forget sometimes, you've got to plant for that post-plant setup, give yourself a nice, easy shot to stop the defuse, because otherwise, you're just setting yourself up to die. There! Suki gets a kill, a nice little trade out, set themselves up to die, but trades are never a bad thing. before they just get taken right back down by Lauk. Ghosty, a little bit of run and gun with the pistol, finds another. Lauk sending him right back through, and at the end of the day, that's a 3-for-2 trade, and Delaware's on-site planting.
It was an unfortunate pincer. Now comes into Paranoia. And Calic was literally none the wiser to Sago, flanking up right behind them and getting the kill. Where the numbers advantage was in Delaware's favor has now been ripped away from them as Kessler is the only one left alive. Really good attempt though from them. They get the kill on the Jelly, but Sago is the quicker draw. And they get the defuse, 9-4.
You don't deserve my
I think that really just comes down to the amazing Sago play there. Great capitalize on that Paranoia, grabs the one kill. Jelly during the meantime able to set themselves up on a crossfire. And once you've got that, Sago is there to finish the play, you know, find that 2-person peek. I do love them throwing it down at that bot in every smoke, making sure that they'll know they have the advance notice for any time anyone tries to come through it. That time, very, very helpful for them. We're able to set themselves up with another pistol. Delaware here, already going for that that force on the Stingers. We've seen them do amazing things with Stingers before, and they're willing to take the fight in the garage. Sago doing their best to stall with his pulse grenade. Doorway utterly caught, and Nautical throwing a ton of utility in for it. I think that absolutely goes to the side of DePaul there. I'll trade Initiator for Sentinel utility every day of the week.
100%. 100%, absolutely. Now it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Look at how this team plays though when they decide to go about doing this. University of Delaware was feeling a little bit more confident. Now Ghosty back in control, setting down the plant on the flag of this site and preventing anyone from being able to walk onto it. DePaul University now inside of the double digits and staring down the hallway of victory.
3 more rounds. All we gotta find, and after Delaware forces up that one, it makes the next couple just a bit easier. You know, DePaul, even with buying up consistently, the better bank in their pocket just because Delaware, you know, forcing up on their save rounds. It's not a terrible thing to see, but it does snowball in situations like this. We start to wonder how much bank are they going to really have when we, you know, get to that round 17 to that round 18. Even with a win, it starts to get pretty spicy on their end.
Needs up. All right, this is University of Delaware. Literally exploding on the side, but Gosi is still really clean on being able to get those headshots. It's the trade, though, from Delaware, as Nautical is going to right that wrong. Kaz, the headshot. They didn't get the kill, unfortunately. Did they get the headshot? No, they didn't get the headshot. I'm seeing things, Loki. I'm sorry. And now Jelly, on the flip side, though, using that Bulldog to great effectiveness. University of Delaware does get the spike planted. Now they're going to have to contend with Sago. They're going to have to contend with an Omen. Down goes one Swarm Grenade. Deny as much time as you possibly can. Give yourselves a little bit more breathing room. Jelly's going to get the Jelly's going to go for the defuse, but once again, another Swarm Grenade on top of the Aftershock and Welk and a Bulldog. A double kill.
My ultimate is ready.
This feels like War of the KJs, honestly. Lelk versus Sago. You know, which engineer will fault first? And at the moment, neither of them really backing down from that fight. Anytime Lelk has been in those 2v2 situations, they have been absolutely playing out. Same thing with Sago. In those clutch situations, those are the players that you need to look at. And they're living up to their role. You know, we don't usually see the Sentinel as being, you know, that clutch player there at the end. Both of them absolutely filling it. As we lead into this next round, Delaware gonna have gun advantage for the first time this map, I believe, other than maybe one other occasion. As called out by that boombot, wants to take it. The flash was there, but not the execution, and Lelk shuts him down. The Killjoy is going to be in play. Suki tries to take something, not going to find it. Cut down by Kalak as Kepster's on site taking that fight. Ghosty is there with the Stinger. It's one, can't convert it to a second, and now Jelly behind, going to get called out by this bot, and not going to have a chance to really look for much more.
Yeah, and guess who's just chilling out there, waiting for a little Jelly. It's going to be Sago. They know they're coming, and they were more than ready for it. Lelk. Apologies, not Jelly, but Lelk. They had that read, and they were able to time it out just perfectly. University of Delaware scrapping for it right now, and they're making it work.
Look at this. Kaz, they're on defense, and now the operator is in their hands. Along with 4 ults, the side of DePaul. They've been hanging on to those for not very long, actually. They actually just got all of them up at once, ready to go and send it. Meanwhile, Delaware still has one person on a Bulldog. I think right at the end, Love managed to grab a rifle in time. So the early util is going out. No one really fighting. Oh, Kaz! The collateral!
Feeling cheeky about that one. Just jet plays. That's all it is. You use an operator and you somehow walk away with a double kill. Typical moves. All right, Sago. You're looking in, you're trying to get the penetration, but it's just not there. You're gonna walk away, but Love does take a lot of damage in attempting to walk through that doorway. Sago is more than primed and ready to go to punish you for your transgressions. Now they're looking down the sidelines. Instead, it's gonna be the rotation towards B, but not with Kaz on the case. This is an insane player who's really trying to make it work. Kevster looking down the barrel. They got the kill on the op, but couldn't quite convert it into a second one.
Paul did manage to pick that off right back up, so Kaz, no worries about it. You just put that right back in your hand. As someone who is a Jet main op crutch player, they get very sad when you don't throw them their operator back when they die. So gotta keep that team morale up, you know. Give your guys an op. It makes
absolutely.
them
happy. They're like a little puppy. You got to give them the operator.
Give
Otherwise,
them the op as a treat. Little bit of sniper rifle as a treat.
Yeah, they're lost without it. And look at Kaz. These are the kind of jet plays you love to see. You go in for the operator, you miss the shot, and well, I got my get out of jail free card. Remember Chamber, everybody? Yeah, those are the days.
Hey, he still teleports just like 5 feet away. You know.
No biggie. All right, Kevster, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. You just go right in there with that satchel charge and you whip out the showstopper and you put Ghosty down into the ground, get full control of B site. But instead of wanting to plant there, it's all about going over to A. You're gonna have to watch out though, because Suki's in heaven. And Suki is not messing around. Already 1 kill on the Nautical. This time though, let's just get out of there. Don't do anything crazy. Wait for the team to come back. Maybe try to do what you do best as a Sova though, gather information. Kevster taking a little bit of damage. Kevster taking a lot of damage. Dead now. And so it's up to the 2 remaining members of University of Delaware to try and hold out as best they can. They've managed to make the plant. It's gonna become that much more difficult when you have Kaz and an operator and a jet and blowing everything up.
God, you know what we didn't see on Pearl? I think that's the deciding factor. On Lotus rather. We didn't see the Kaz jet operator.
Agreed.
That's the problem. Well, you know, there's your problem. Kaz all set up, ready to go. This is a fully operational jet station. And with that operator, they have no fear. Actually catching up to Sago almost in kills, battling for that top spot. And with 1 more round to go, it is do or die for Delaware. Not going to have a full buy to their name, has to scrounge up whatever weapons they can. Bulldogs on some people,
Standing ahead.
shotguns on either, lots of half shields all around. And now, Kevster, all leaned over to this A side. So they have to be aggressive here.
They do.
Try to fight through that gun advantage.
There's no other option. DePaul University on top of that, full smattering of ultimates that they get to work with to try and retake the site. If anything goes wrong, now you have to use the Nightfall because really at this point you have to get onto A site. What is Delaware doing though? They are not on it. They're just, you know, we'll play the retake. We got every single ultimate known to man right now. Just chill out. We'll go for the retake. No biggie, no big deal. Down goes the spike plant. DePaul University. This is an interesting move from them. They're playing. Yeah, okay, here comes the AJ lockdown. So this is going to force them away for just that much longer. And if things start going sideways, what do you have? Then you can Hunter's Fury. You can Rolling Thunder. You can deny so much pressure. If only DePaul knew where Delaware was right now, that would have been a free defuse.
Not quite there. 1 detained. Ghosty running through sewers finds 1. They got to deal with 2 more down there. Sago not going to be able to grab the defuse. The Rolling Thunder going to knock him out of it. Now, Kaz fighting for sewers. Finds 1. Knives out. Grabs 2. Ready to roll it over. It is Kaz versus the world right now. That concuss going to come out. They're not going to have time to defuse. So even though it's a great play, the execute just is not there. Paul gives a little bit too much space to Delaware, and they take advantage.
DePaul had it all in their hands. They had everything available to them, but it just did not work out. They used every single ultimate. Loki, every single one of them just was not able to secure that round. In University of Delaware, we've said it how many times now? They are so beautiful on the rounds where they're not full buying.
And when they're not supposed to win, Delaware top tier team. You know, no one's beating them. Underdog Delaware is the strongest team right now. Sadly though, there's rounds where they're supposed to win, and those seem to be the problem. This round as well, they're not able to have a full buy because of all the money they spent. Even though they won, still don't have everything ready to go. Trying to teleport them back to site, lots of resources, no one really finding anything. Love going through garage here, but in the meantime, Jelly's shutting down the rest of their team with help from Suki. Wow. And that is that, everybody! DePaul winning 13-7 in a quick round for them. Lelk and Jet, Kaz being the standout players for DePaul. Usually I try to give some sort of MVP, but I don't think I can really choose between the two of them.
It's a tough one, that's for sure. I mean, it was such a good, such a good. It's a tough one. It really is, Loki. I mean, both of them were playing so well, and it's just like, where do you go from there? Which one do you want to choose? At that point, though, I mean, you know, 2-1 DePaul University against University of Delaware. It was a decent game from both sides, though, and I think for DePaul, with what we saw on Lotus, they really wanted to make sure that they stepped up on Haven. Delaware, really bad Ascent map, let's be real. Wasn't the best, a really rough one. Then we go on to Lotus, where they started shining, unfortunately on Haven. Couldn't quite bring it back for another win, but not as bad as Ascent, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, that map 3 is where, you know, dreams are both made and broken. Sadly, Delaware not able to find their way. I feel like they're just stuck in that spot where they're a great team, they do amazing stuff, but when it comes down to that final wire, just having trouble putting it together. With that, we are going to go on a bit of a longer break. We'll be back at 8 p.m. EST for your next game. If you're wondering who it's going to be Marquette University versus RIT, Rochester Institute of Technology. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in, or well, maybe go check out the other stream. Go check out EGF Official 3, I believe, or Official EGF. Both of them having different games going on right now. Valorant on EGF 3, CSGO on Official EGF. So go check out that stuff. Be back here at 8 EST. We'll be ready for a great match.
Back after a lengthy break, and we have for you University of Cincinnati going up against Rochester Institute of Technology. Both of these teams sitting towards the middle of the pack in our standings, but not ones to be discounted, especially considering that in the very first week of this season, the two went head-to-head. And so now they're going to be looking to have that grudge match once more. And we're kind of getting some like weird deja vu off this, Loki, based on the map choices.
Yeah, so quick overview of the maps we got going on here. We've got Ascent, Split, Fracture as our map choices, right?
Right.
We want to take a look at week 1, EGF, 8 weeks ago by season, about 2 months, or as I was 3 months ago, based on time. These two teams played 74 maps, each taking 37. Cincinnati ended up winning. That's their one win of the season. Map 1 was Ascent, just like it is now, 13-15. Cincinnati won it. For the second one, that one is the only map we're not going to see again today at Haven, 13-9. And for the last map, it was Fracture again, 13-11. Cincinnati takes it. So if week 1 is anything to go off of, we should have a very tight, very long game.
I have a feeling that we're going to be going into that. The first game was a 15-13 overtime round. So if we're going based off of that, if we're going based off of history, everyone better lock in, because we are going to be in for one ringer of a match. And of course, blood today, we are wanting to see whether or not Rochester is going to be able to change what happened in that very first week, whether or not going throughout this entire season has been able to improve this team as a whole, or if Cincinnati is still going to be able to hold strong and possibly be able to get another win under their belt.
Well, if there's a time to get that win, it's definitely against this team that got a lot of experience. Looking at Rochester Institute of Technology, this is a very interesting setup. I love the Neon personally. I love Neon. I think she's one of the most fun characters in the game. But at the moment, we're pulling out Neon, Chamber, Yaru, which are, if I remember, Neon, Chamber, Yaru, and Harbor, which, if I remember correctly, are the 4 lowest pick rate characters in the game. And then an Astra, quite possibly. Oh, no, looks like it might be a raise now. There's 30 seconds left on the clock, so that's got to get locked in pretty soon here. Meanwhile, Cincinnati going for the kind of the Ascent comp, the kind of standard Ascent comp for the current meta.
Choose your agent.
So far, okay. Rochester had us in the first half, not going to lie.
We've been
got debated big time. Now it's the standard Ascent composition coming out from the side of RIT. Over on Cincinnati, really the only big difference is the controller. Instead of an Omen, we're going to be having that Astra. Not the worst choice, though. I do think Astra is still a really good choice for Ascent. Omen, also same there as well. But yeah, there it is. Standard compositions all over the place. Cincinnati is going to be on the attack, and of course, Rochester defending, which is going to be even more interesting. We know the power of these KJs on defense. So B-site locked down by them, throw down the turret, throw down the swarm grenades, and of course the alarm bot preventing anyone from being able to set foot onto there. Looking at the way that University of Cincinnati is setting up, though, seems like a 5-stack towards B, 2 maybe towards mid?
That seems like it's the case. Meanwhile, it does look like Cincinnati willing to just full stack this B main. Or possibly mid? I haven't seen a whole lot of mid pistol round. We saw some last game earlier today, about 4 hours ago, where there was some pistol round mid, but that was just because they were throwing it out there and hoping the guns followed with it. No one from Rochester really covering this mid. The most they've got in Utah-wise is just this alarm bot right there. Smoke's out. Flash coming out as well. Can Vulcan find it? No, they can't. They have to dip out of there. Trigon puts down Dummy as a result. That left them behind. They take advantage.
Another?
Now Waldy looking for one more. They have a friend coming their way, so if they can just hold out, they will be able to take this 2v1. Vulcan gonna grab it, but there is one last Omen they got to deal with right behind them.
And Chad Bino is going to be able to walk up, get the kill there. Now it's just left all to Sanito. 25 HP to their name. They got to walk through the smoke. They got to plant the spike all in under a minute. While dealing with the 3 members remaining from Rochester Institute of Technology. One couple shots come out onto Chad Bino, but they managed to get back into market with their head still firmly planted between their heads. It was an idea. You saw the formulation of the play, but it was all ruined by Lionheart to come in. Rochester Institute of Technology winning out this first pistol round.
That is going to set them up pretty nice. You know, having those two, having that pistol, having that conversion is always so incredibly nice, especially if, you know, you might not be as stronger with the rest of the game. Having those 2 rounds can kind of supplant a weaker rifle game. You know, we see a lot of time the team who's a lot weaker on rifles will win those pistols. And at that point, all they need to do is pick up, you know, 4 rifle rounds as opposed to, you know, out of 10, which is not, you know, it's not too tall of an order. It can really help a different team regardless, or just supplant a lead. Absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%. So stars go down, cutting off sight lines from market. A little bit of damage coming in from the turret, but nothing to deter the Rochester Institute of Technology. This is going to be a little bit difficult. Look who is on site all by themselves, cut off by the molly from the KJ. Waldy is going to be reinforced by the rest of their team. Site has been taken. The University of Cincinnati, and so now does begin the retake. Rochester, they're going to try and figure out whatever they can. That was a really good shot dart, though. Let's do a little bit of damage. It gets a kill. Converts. Look at that. Really clean from Savagery. Now another one comes in, caught inside of the swarm grenade. Wanobi is still going to be able to hold here strong, but Aiden Spectre diff is just that little bit more powerful. The way that Cincinnati is playing right now, you wouldn't think you wouldn't think they didn't have guns in their hands, as kills are still coming in for them. That is a big black eye for Rochester, who is going to be able to win out in this round, but took a lot for them to get there.
Yeah,
Oh, no, you don't.
we might be putting another a 2 next to Institute of Technology, give them that round, but I think Cincinnati's the true winner there. Came out with only Pistol is going to force 3 people to rebuy. The other 2 going to have to rebuy their shields as well. That's a huge hit to the economy. On the other hand, Cincinnati rifles in hand, gonna have some half shields here and there just due to buying up and grabbing utility. At the end of the day, I'd rather have a Vandal or a Phantom in my hand than a Spectre and no money for it. We see a lot of the times when you lose out on that conversion, teams won't buy back up just because having that money is so important.
My ultimate is
We don't expect to win this round anyways.
So they put down the smoke while also throwing out the Sova dart at the same time, so they weren't able to gather any information because they could have possibly been able to do that. Unfortunately, just weren't able to right there. And so now, in through tree, Vulcan to just dash right by the swarm grenade that was placed down on the ground, taking no damage from that. I'm very interested to see what University of Cincinnati is going to do now that they have rifles in their hands. Savagery is unbelievable so far. Another shock dart kill. That is so huge. And they stop the plant, giving time for the reinforcements to come in. And so this gives them a little bit more breathing room. You've taken one gun off of the field. And so now we're looking towards what the answer is going to be from Cincinnati. The answer, though, is going to be very quiet, as Rochester is yelling.
And that also, takes away all of the damage that was done on that round 2 because Rochester just has to go gun shopping now. So they're all loaded up for free. That's 3 people taking rifles. That exactly wipes away those early kills. Chad Bino now with the operator on this defense. They're most likely going to be locking down mid. You can see them there in the treehouse on Cat. Cincinnati, no gas in the tank. No money to buy anything up. The most they can do is those sheriffs and light shields. Even that seems a little bit excessive, honestly.
Revealing area.
It does. They're...
Ooh!
Not what you want to be able to open up the round with. Just hiding out right on Cat. Oh, didn't even want to aim down the sights for that one. Just going to go for the shot. Dummy! Actually winning out in mid against the operator. Chad Bino wasn't expecting that. Now a second one for them. This KO is unstoppable with a sheriff in their hands. What is it, Loki, with these teams and being in these sort of save rounds and doing better than when they actually have guns in their hands?
I feel like maybe the team with guns just goes a little bit too hard, gets a little bit too confident and, being made to pay for it. Maybe when you have those save guns in your hands, you're like, why does it matter if I die or not? I might just go try to make a play. You play free, play open, play with confidence, and it ends up working for you.
It does indeed. So, though, University of Cincinnati only has 2 members left, low on HP, especially for their KO. Now they're going to have to walk into the site that is being covered by a KJ. You really had to be messing with fire if you're going to want this to work out well for you. There goes the alarm bot. Now you're going to use the nano swarm. Dummy. He's been good with that sheriff, but unfortunately can't make the lightning strike 3 times for themselves. Now all that's left, all alone, a very, very, very low HP Sanito with a Marshall. Savage are going to finish them off, and Rochester. Ooh, beautiful.
Is everyone's tech
quick
still working?
4-0.
Double check it, please.
Already performing significantly better than that week 1 live performance. Chad Bino still with that off in their hands. They were able to pick it up in time, or they were able to pick it up in time, get it right back to them. Oh, they got the good skin on it too. That's the I like off skin. I will make the statement right now. As someone who has that skin, that is the skin of I am a Jep op crutch, and I love it. I am utterly cool with that fact. Already getting set up for it. Yep, there it is. That's the skin talking right there.
It's the classic Jet Wombo combo. You just plan up B main. Anyone who decides to walk through it, well, RIP. And even if you miss a shot, what do? You just dash out of there, and you're perfectly fine. As if Nothing even happened. But now we get to see what's going to happen here on A. Trigon, with a really good read. They have this kind of idea of what Cincinnati wants to do, and so they've set up there.
Swarm grenade.
Now they know. Turret's there. You put out the swarm grenade. Cincinnati, though, they're wise to the tricks of the trade of what KJs like to do, and so they're not going to push through that. Instead, rotate. Get off that site. No need to push it.
Bino's still on this angle. At this point, there's only one person watching over mid, and there we go! Chad Bino asserting jet dominance right there, while the rest of Cincinnati is still rotating over to this B site. Bearcats down 2 right now. They have guns in their hands. It's only Chad Bino on this one site. Knife goes out, smoke to catch him as well, so not going to be able to hold that spot.
30 seconds
They
left.
want they could jump back up on those boxes, but I think even that might be too aggressive for Chad Bino. With that, no one on site, which means this is Bearcat territory. That bomb will go down. Not if the Hunter's Fury has anything to say about it, though. Trying to track one down. They've got the plant, waiting for it. That's a lot of time off the clock, but they're not able to find the kill, as Dummy does take down Chad Bino.
Once again, man, it's a second kill for their efforts as well. Things are looking a lot even. Walt had it in their pockets, but Savagery was just a little bit too much. The numbers advantage on the side of RIT working out so well in their favor. They're still going to be able to get that operator back in hand. So, University of Cincinnati, a valiant effort, a valiant attempt, and it looked like it may have been able to work there. Rochester, righting the wrongs of what happened in week 1.
That was a very, very good post-play setup. Is Cincinnati going to call a timeout? I don't disagree with that. I think this is honestly probably the perfect time. We see a lot of teams wait too long for those timeouts. I will say I love Cincinnati's post play there. I think they did that expertly. Having that one person on the angle, 2 on site. That is like textbook exactly what you want to see, and they even executed it well. Just that one little mechanical thing. There's just too many people on the side of Rochester, for that play to go off perfectly. And with the mechanics just not perfect as well, sometimes that's just, it's not really the fault of those 3 people that were left. It's just a bad situation.
Hopefully this timeout, though, is going to be able to give Cincinnati the moment of calm that they need to strategize, figure out how to stand up against Rochester, who has been, well, having a really good performance so far here on Ascent. And as well, on top of this, you got to say, University of Cincinnati, Ascent, their map choice. But Ascent is really the Valorant map, right, Loki? It's one of the It's one of the best. It's one of the best maps in my opinion. My personal favorite map, especially. So I think a lot of people want to practice on here. A lot of people scrim on here. A lot of teams scrim on here. So it just makes it that much easier, I think, for Rochester. Cincinnati was hoping to be able to get something from a comfort place that they feel the best with. But so far, a little bit painful. Chad Bino spotted out by the recon drone, I believe. He comes in, spots them, but it doesn't seem like Chad Bino's too scared. In fact, if anyone's scared, it's Cincinnati.
Yeah, that is the call to not go for that angle. Take the drone and leave. I feel like every game kind of has one map that the entire player base agrees, like, oh yeah, that's the good map. And for Valorant, it's definitely Ascent. I don't feel like anyone really dislikes Ascent.
I agree.
It's just kind of standard game.
It's just it's a good map. Solid. Not too crazy. Makes a lot of sense. Not too many angles you have to clear. It's pretty simple. Simple mechanically speaking. No teleporters blasting you all over the place. No rotating walls. Nothing fancy. Just shut a couple of doors, and that's really what you can hope for here. No. Vulcan thought that they had the drop there with the knives out, but unfortunately for them, they do not. Now it's Chad Bino to walk back over onto the site. Here comes the Astra ult to cut off sight lines from heaven, which completely defangs Chad Bino for the moment. Now comes in the recon drone, pitches out 2 members inside of that, but now also comes in the lockdown from Cincinnati. And so they're playing the post plant really cleanly right now, trying to buy as much time as they possibly can, and they actually get the detain onto Trigon. But it's time for the answer back, the null command.
In order to get to Trigon, though, they're going to have to do some work, and I don't think Rochester's going to let them go easily. Savagery down. Winabi, though, catches people trying to drop from heaven. Real nice and easy, and Chad Bino goes in with the knives, gets punished for it. and that's an op to the other side of the team. I'd be surprised if they try to take that in. All right. I personally am not a huge fan of the attack operator, especially on Ascent. I think it can do a ton for your mid control. But with this one duelist setup, like, you need Vulcan entrying right now.
It's gonna be just that much more difficult, yeah, for Cincinnati to be able to make anything happen. Sometimes you gotta have those ego duels, right? But I agree, for Vulcan, they need to be the one going in on the side, and that's gonna be because guess who's already set up there on the other side? It's Chad Bino. They're just gonna wait for Vulcan. Vulcan needs to set up to be able to use that operator. Meanwhile, the entire time, Chad Bino's just gonna be chilling out, waiting for them to actually walk into their sight lines. And so really at this point, it's just a who's gonna be the more aggressive one? And it's gonna have to be the attackers. It's gonna have to be Vulcan. They're gonna use the pop flash, but they missed the flashbang. And so Chad Bino is still holding on to that. And then on top of that, nobody even decided to take advantage of that flashbang. It's a good thing that they didn't, though.
Yeah, and with that, that's what, 30, 40 seconds off the clock for no util, no effort from the side of Rochester. They're going to lose out Aiden for it. Aiden was trying to push up that mid angle. Got a little bit too aggressive. There's 4 people looking down the sights of mid. Make that only 2 is the 3 of them. Want to rotate back over to A site normally. Mid completely lost for Rochester, but they don't know that there's no one there, so they have to cover it. Meanwhile, there's 2 in Treehouse. Thinking about pushing forward, there's smoke making them slow down. And at this point, the flare has been sent out, and Trigon's ready to answer.
Ooh, Trigon.
That's 2, looking for 3, gotta find it.
My ultimate is ready.
One more in
Looking for
main.
the 4th?
Can they live? Not gonna get killed by the penetration. Tanito trying to come up, gonna find 1, gonna get Trigon out from hell too. So now it's a 1v2. 1 in heaven.
But they're not watching out for Chad Bino.
Ops in Treehouse, gonna whip the shot. But Sanito does not have time. Savagery wins, and the op is back in the hands of Rochester.
So unfortunate for Cincinnati again. It's just right there at the very 1v1. It's just not able to clutch it out just because of the pure numbers advantage. When Chad Bino went down, guess who was there to cover them, to trade it out? It was Savagery. Happened last round, it happened in a previous round in this match. And so Cincinnati, you can see that they have the skills, they have the ability to be able to make things work. Sanito, really valiant effort from them, really was, but it's just unfortunate.
Placing swamp grenade.
Rochester now, still spread all the way out. They got Chad Bino in mid, so no operator on A side as Cincinnati starts to creep up that way. Aggressive play. 1 already on the side, getting killed by this turret. Trigon gonna take down Waldy, but immediately gets traded right back out. That does tell everyone on Rochester, hey, we gotta get to A right here, right now.
Spike planted.
Love it, Savagery.
Savagery in it, up in heaven. Oh!
Come on, Chad Bino. Now Aiden set themselves up in a very pretty position. Be able to walk right on the side. Chad Bino, how do you get away with an operator headshot kill onto Sanito? They didn't get away with it for too long, but hey. Savagery closing us out once again on this round, and a defuse in from Lionheart. Rochester is roaring.
Chad Bino is doing exactly what I want to see from Jets. Do the entry, don't care if you get killed. We're just going for the hope that we get traded. All we've got to do is get 1 or 2 kills to open up the rest of our team. Getting traded as a duelist is unironically one of the best things on the planet, because that gets you back onto the site. Rochester is doing so well with these post plants, specifically because Chad Bino's going in, getting a pick, and getting traded. With that,
they're fearless.
Yeah. And then Savagery doing a great job just being, clean it up, being initiator, being that second hit, the hammer and the anvil. Chad Bino being, out here being anvil, Savagery out here being the hammer, working great together.
So Chad Bino was denied the vision. Waldy walked up through mid. You saw that Chad Bino took the shot, but unfortunately wasn't at the right place.
Destroyed.
Thankfully, though, Waldy only has a stinger, so not too much damage to Chad Bino, who's going to retreat back to the safety of trees. Still, though, the power of that stinger over and over again is just overpowering the strengths of what the Vandal is able to bring. Now Lionheart has to really make sure that they're able to hold here and that their aim is good. Loki, the aim is real good. Now it's Winobi to try and gather information using that recon dart. They found 1. It's going to be really hard for them to get something to work there. with that stinger, the long-range engagements are just not going to work out for them. So you can see why they're hugging so close on these corners. Fortunately for Waldy, they do have a Vandal, but now, how does Chad, how did you do that, Chad Bino, how did you do that? What in the world?
The movement while he's reloading too is amazing. Like, he knows he's vulnerable. He's just doing the dances back and forth. Man's doing the tango. Pulls out the rifle just in time and can immediately quick scope it down and find the kill. Like, it's just massive right now. This man is locking down entire angles, and he doesn't even need help to come over at his, come over towards him at this point, because he's just so clean on that operator every single time. So it's really freeing up the rest of Rochester to spread all over this map, make sure that everything else is taken care of, because Chad Bino just doesn't need the help. He doesn't need the assistance.
Look at Chad Bino, though. They want to go in so far into B main because they have an idea that someone is going to be there. And Sunito was the one who wanted to peek their little head. All right, maybe it's time to check out and see what's in B main. Oh, it's Chad Bino with an operator lopping my head off. Okay, that's great. So now, the poor thing here for University of Cincinnati, they've lost their Sentinel. Now they've lost their Duelist and Vulcan, who was up in heaven. Thought that they were safe through the smokes, but no, it was the exact opposite. It was their doom. Now for Waldy, he may have been able to plant the spike, but Rochester's on the move.
Lockdown gonna get destroyed by that Hunter's Fury. Chad Bino tries to drop into heaven with an operator. That's not gonna work out for them. But quick trade by Lionheart. Up to Wanobi with 2 health, not gonna work out for them. Nami, maybe you can get a play. Who takes down Savagery for 1. Needs to find Trigon, gonna grab that one too. Hot flash, out. Not gonna be able to play off of it. Is there time on this bomb? I don't know that there is. Oh, one.
No way!
Find it. Is there time? He's got the half defuse. Is it right there? With 1 second left on the bomb. Aiden, here to play.
We gotta give it to Tummy though there, Loki, because that was an expert usage of being able to be the last one standing, but getting maximum value out of that life. It was just so unfortunate that everyone else was dead once again. It's just, University of Cincinnati has the technical skill. It's just the teamwork so far has been, it's been working at times. It's just really the numbers game that is so bad for Cincinnati right now.
Well, what's wild about it too is their post plans are good on the macro. Like, they're really good on the macro, but they're losing so many people by the time they get to that post plant that it doesn't even matter. Hunter's Fury now breaking through, almost scans 1. Chad Bino up on this angle, he's gonna get pushed.
Oh, no way!
Whoa!
No way!
Talk about a flick!
Here.
No way, Chad Bino. All right, that's it. You got to respect that operator at all times now. Vulcan does come out clean with a double kill on that Sheriff, but how much more can you really be expecting from that? Savagery was just holding on to that angle. They knew that Chad Bino fell there. They had the feeling that Vulcan was going to make that push, and indeed they did. Last round before the swap. Listen, Loki, 10-2, 11-1. This is not where Cincinnati wants to be, regardless of whether or not they win here.
Fun little reminder. This was a 13-15 Cincinnati win the last time they played. Now, that was 3 months ago. That was back in, October 8th was when they played that game. So they've had a minute to practice, and it looks like Rochester has made good of that time. This is a completely different team than we saw early Season 1.
I can't use that.
Or early Semester 1, rather.
They've just taken this time and going throughout the season and have, through the trials and tribulations, have forged themselves into a new Aiden with 3 in their pocket. How are you letting this Omen get away with that? It's been even out though. Cincinnati righting those wrongs, but still 3-1 person is deadly. Now the spike has been planted. You got to go on to site. Pop the ultimates. Really got to go for it. Lionheart now inside of the null command. Taking away Vulcan's usage of those blades. Now you're going to have to go in while Vulcan is holding this angle down with an operator. Thankfully, though, the flashbangs are going to blind them for a second longer here. Vulcan's aim, good so far, but can it be good enough? It doesn't need to be, because Dummies has so far been unbelievable. University of Cincinnati not going into the second half that won, but like I said, 10-2, still not a pretty picture.
No, not at all. Especially with pistol round going so convincingly to Rochester when they were on their defense. I like to think that Ascent can be slightly defense oriented. I don't know that it's 10-2 defense oriented. That is an insane showing any day of the week against any team on any map. RIT set up now. They win pistol. All they need is that conversion and then an okay bonus to set up a rifle. We're out of here in 4 rounds if everything goes to the plan.
That's the plan RIT wants to have in their pocket. Hey, they want to close this out as quickly as they possibly can. And it's going to be a 4 push through mid, leaning towards B, it seems. They don't want to go through the turret, and they don't want to have to deal with any of that. Looks like it's just straight up, let's go into market. And indeed so, the turret completely not able to get any utility out of that. And look at that paranoia, too. Blinds Winobi. Now you walk in. Lionheart walks in. They had the idea. It's just unfortunate that Winobi has some really good aim on their own side. Chad Beto, undeterred, even with a ghost in their hand, is still able to land some pretty clean headshots. And now for Cincinnati, we're at the same numbers advantage, not at the same health advantage.
No, University of Cincinnati. Bearcats really not loving where they're at with health. Winobi here at 26. Vulcan, though, going to take down Trigon. That evens it out significantly more. Oh! That looked like a collateral almost with that classic, as there is no chance now for Winobi. They are just gunned down by a firing squad from the Rochester Institute of Technology. And Bearcats now are, have not been more on the back foot than they are right now in this match. They're going to have to force up in this scenario, but Rochester did such a good job that they're out here buying bulldogs on some characters.
I've actually been buying the bulldogs on my round 2 pistol wins, right? And it's been working out pretty good for me. Of course, I'm low elo player, smooth brain bronze, but hey, if it works, it works. And so that's what I like to see from Rochester. They're wanting to go for what they feel they can most confidently get out of these rounds and really extracting as much as they possibly can. Because obviously, if they win out in this one, the next is going to be match point. But for Rochester, we got hit with a couple pieces of utility. It's smoked. A is smoked off right now. We're feeling a little bit tepid about wanting to engage in on that. Let's split up. We'll have 2 go in through main, and then we'll have, it looks like 2 walk up through cat, and then the Omen split back and rejoin the group going in through main.
Trigon here. Gonna be enforcing this cat. They got meat by Walby. Weren't looking at it. The timing is not on their side. They end up trading that out in a 2v1. Sanito still confident in Treehouse. Wants to take another fight. Gonna even it out once more. There's every moment that falls from Rochester. Doesn't look like that win is quite as close. There's 2 in heaven they gotta deal with. Winobi taking that peek first. They're gonna have the angle. And it's all savagery, but they can't not hold it against Vulcan. Ghost versus Stinger. Stinger ends up winning it. So Cincinnati gets to live for a little bit longer.
That they do. There you go, Cincinnati. Holding on, fighting for dear life. And that would be the comeback of the century, Loki. To go from the 10-2 half and bring it all of the way back. Obviously, though, we haven't gotten the guns, big rifles in the hands of RIT just yet. So a couple more rounds and then things could be going in a totally different direction.
Well, we're getting some rifles in for UC now. Rochester Institute of Technology looking to force up as much as they possibly can. Not willing to wait. They want to close this out right here, right now. University of Cincinnati, on the other hand, going to use that win to buy up a little bit. Make sure they have their hands on the gun advantage no matter what happens. Winobi scouting out mid, and they saw 5. That's any indication where everyone's going. Let me hear
He's going to have a lot on their hands. So good. So beautiful. You really have to be playing with fire there if you're dummy, and to come out with 1 kill. Oh, that's something that's going to make you feel good in the morning. Now Rochester Institute only has 2 standing against the full 4 power of University of Cincinnati. And so there you have it. You see, there's another win in their pocket, another round win. RIT though, they're starting to get there. The economy's starting to get a little better. Not quite there yet. Next round, full fighting power.
Yeah, right now, University of Cincinnati is a fully operational Bearcat, looking significantly better on this defense, especially with some guns in their hand. It would have really, stand up against this aggressive Tiger force Rochester Institute of Technology is putting out here. Does look like with this save, Rochester is going to be leaning towards that save, toward that neutral.
Vulcan being very patient, knew that they didn't have the shot, so not gonna take it. They see just the tip of the head of Savagery, but it is not enough for them to be able to actually land the headshot, and so Savagery gets to walk away. He's got a nice free haircut out of it, though, at the very least. Both of the recon drones go out. Winobi is going to be able to spot Savagery, and now Savagery repays it in kind. So now both Sovas know where exactly they are. One in market, one hiding out in courtyard. Still, though, the plan for RIT is just take things slow. They don't have big weapons in their hands. And they also know that there's an operator somewhere on the field. Where exactly is Vulcan hiding? Fortunately for Rochester, if they do decide, wherever they decide to go, it could work out for them if they do decide to go for this B push. And it seems like they are, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they played the mind games and they're going to win. So long as they do it quick enough, they cannot hesitate. I already have their Omen on site. Vulcan completely smoked off, and you can see the frustration shot there. Wanting to be able to take it on the rotate. No chance. Spike is going to go down, so even if they lose, that's some good cash that they can have on the table.
All right, Chad Nobi.
Set up for this post plant. They've got that nice little radial
Good, are you with that
stance
sheriff?
going.
One. No, two. But still, one could be good enough for RIT. Not quite the numbers advantage they're hoping for, but Vulcan, while they're messing around, they didn't have the operator out, and so weren't able to get the kill on Savagery. Savagery, a couple of bullets onto them. Trigon with the wall bang. Unbelievable. Now throws out the swarm grenade to cut off any access through there. And Rochester has every single angle, every single idea in their head of what they want to cover. And guess what, Loki? Guess what Rochester is giving to their favorite Jet?
Back the operator. That is brutal. I still don't love it on attack, but I'm pretty sure Chad Bino can prove me wrong. Now, Rochester Technology on that match point. University of Cincinnati to hang on. Bearcats got to play perfect Valorant. No mistakes. Every death gives them a little bit closer.
Here.
Meanwhile, Rochester able to put a gun in everyone's hands while still saving a whole lot on the
Yikes.
No way, Chad Bino! No way you get away with that! Dummy knew what was going on there, but still the wallbang kill comes through and gets them. Unbelievable plays. So the recon drone does go in, sees everybody hiding out in B main. But of course, he got the lockdown. Ooh, Sinito through the smoke. This could be bad though. The Hunter's Fury revenging their fallen teammate.
Alarm bot out.
Savagery is not having this anymore. And by the way, Savagery, so far with their utility and their ultimates, has been kind of a little bit nutty. So Trigon and Savagery are just going to chill out right here. While Waldy wants to take a jaunt through market, it's going to be a jaunt through market into Savagery's bullets. Aiden hiding out on this high ground. Vulcan, none the wiser. Now it's up to Winobi in a 1v3 to get the spike defused and save the game. They were able to get one, but weren't able to get the two. The three. And so Rochester Institute of Technology, 13-4 on Ascent.
This is an incredibly different team than we saw 3 months ago. They have done some work during that time, and dang, do they look nice. With that, we are going to go to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Split.
Rochester Institute of Technology is ready to change history here as what was a 15-13 game on Ascent completely demolished here. A 13-3 game, a 13-4 game, apologies. So Rochester really in control of their destinies, especially on the map pick of Cincinnati once more. Now we turn our attention to a map that's been missing from Valorant for quite some time. We get to go back onto the lovely map of Split.
I'm not sure I agree with the lovely point, but yeah, we love Split.
I think we love it more than Breeze, right?
No, definitely not.
This is coming from a Jet main.
As a Sova and Jet player, I hate Split. Split makes me sad inside. Regardless, looking at this, it looks like both teams choosing to bring out the Cypher. Pretty even team comp from either side. They're ready to go. No need to talk it over. Let's play some Valorant. And as I said, pretty even on either side. I've actually very much lied to you. Rochester Institute Technology going for that double smoker comp. Gonna have their fade. Meanwhile, Cincinnati likes Raze instead of Jet, and also likes having 2 initiators rather than 2 smokers. They're gonna leave the Viper at home and instead bring out a Sky.
So I think for Split, not the worst idea in the world, being able to have that initiation potential. Cincinnati.
I'm surprised that there's not a breach, is what I'm surprised about.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. They chose the Fade, they chose the Sky, but Breach really does shine on this map. A lot of long corridors that you can really take advantage of his utility with. Of course, the flashbangs, we can never underestimate how powerful those are. So I'm a little shocked, but you know, maybe it works. I still think I like the double controller setup that RIT has going on. The Omen smokes obviously still has the Paranoia, and of course Viper. Still a controller mainstay for time and time again. In comes the dogs, finds one. And so that's gonna be pushed back, at least for the moment. But Cincinnati, a little bit more damage than I think what they were expecting.
Yeah, running through that, not a great place, but they do have that Sky ready to heal him up, keep him going. Bearcats need to find their way back into this A site. They're all grouped up in one spot as well. Rochester Institute Technology shooting it out. Chad Bino gonna pick up 2. Vulcan finally shoots it out as Waldy evens the score. They still have a long way to go, and this timer is ticking down. Vulcan finds another. Lionheart tried to get fancy with it, not gonna work for him. I'm looking to take Heaven, but Aiden's on point, and he is dialed in with that Ghost. Finds 2. And this is not where the Bearcats want to be.
Aiden. Beautiful. 3 in the pocket. Rochester, another first round pistol won by them. So there we have it. It seems like Rochester is still as confident as on Split, which by the way, of course, their map choice. So they really do have to be feeling incredibly confident about wanting to choose this map. Hence why we see the composition that they do have. And like I said, I think the double controller, it just works out so much better for RIT than the double initiator. Still, on the flip side though, Cincinnati is on the defense, so the initiator's not getting as much utility out of what they should be getting.
Yeah, I think so long as we see, Cincinnati pick up 4 or 5 rounds, they're not in a bad place on this defense here. Chad Bino ready to take the fight, going in, gonna get traded out while getting a kill. It's exactly what you want from your duelist. Now, Rochester Institute Technology is on this site. No one's really able to contest him. No one's in Heaven quite yet. There's still just one trapped in that corridor, but they don't know that they're open, so it takes them a really long time to plant. Finally get it down. It is a good plant. And they're gonna, they planted for that garage take.
Throw down the cages. Anyone who tries to walk in through CT is going to be met alarmed there. Now you had to walk in. A really good post plant. So you have vision through long. Trigon's gonna be ready for that. Unfortunately, Aiden wasn't ready for Vulcan to walk up there like that. Savagery, 3 in the pocket. And Lionheart to close it out. Rochester is going very strong right now so far.
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing post plant, great plant, Great spike placement, makes you can cover it from garage. You know, you leave out Aiden just a tiny little bit. That gives you the good intel while still covering different angles, and then it's a little bit of a bait, but sometimes that's what you got to do to win the round, and it works out great. You know, you saw how fast all of Rochester collapsed around Aiden the moment that shots were fired. University of Cincinnati now does have rifles, so let's see if they can kind of change pace.
I think the biggest thing too here is that we're really seeing the value that we're getting out of having an Omen on this map, based just purely on the paranoias, but also being able to cover things as well with the Viper, giving yourselves a little bit more positions to maneuver around with. And so another smoke comes in, Dummy has been completely denied the vision, and so that's going to force them to back away. Meanwhile, going up through B main, nobody cares. Rochester has complete control of tower. They're in heaven, and they are feeling very good about themselves. Not only that, but you send back over Savagery, they have control of mid. They're gonna have to watch out for that paranoia.
No, they won't.
Waldy wanted to time it. Waldy wanted to time it, but he just didn't do it appropriately. He held on to it too long.
Now, Cincinnati also has to deal with one behind them. Winobi Dummy on site looking somewhere, but Chad Bino's in this perch. They're finding one. Can they find the second? They don't need to. Aiden's got their back. And
they won the bonus.
Like that, Rochester's 3-0 and gets rifles for free.
They win that bonus. They are so economically set now. Loki, this has to be a great day. I like this from Cincinnati. Timeout right now. What the heck just happened? How do we lose when we had the guns? What went wrong there? What do we need to fix?
Yeah, I think what you need to fix is, one, not getting so incredibly split, and then two, not giving sight for free. Like, they really, really want to play this retake, and I respect that. I love a good retake, but you got to get some resources out from the other team first. That's the whole point of retake, is we're going to get out a ton of resources, give them space, and then they will have no util, and we can just stream it all back in. But when you're not using that util to support each other, and you're not playing to get out util, it's just an even setup, and you've lost all of your space and all of your positioning. You know, Rochester's doing such a good job with these post plans, such as you gotta have them somebody util to get them out of there.
There's also something to be said too, just sometimes about keeping your feet planted on the ground and holding where you are. You may be able to get traded out, but at least you're getting a lot of information about what exactly is happening there. And it's just really unfortunate for Cincinnati that it seemed like they get a little bit flustered too easily. And when that happens, we saw what happens. The entire site given up, vital map control given up, vital pieces of the map given up. And so it just does not work out. Now I'm very interested to see if Rochester's gamble here, how that's going to work out for them. Because it's going to be by themselves. Okay, well, it's working out really well for Trigon so far. I'll say that much at the very least. Fortunately for Chad Bino, as they're walking up in through mid, is going to be meeting what is quite possibly a very nasty sheriff headshot right to the face. So that eliminates the jet and potential to go inside of there. Vulcan has been really clean, however, being able to land some of these headshots all the way on the other side of the world. Loki, I don't know if you're looking at what Savagery is doing right now. They have a spike. They're more than happy to go ahead and start pushing. I said Savagery, but it's Trigon.
They're taking the scenic route. You know? Letting them set up. No one knows they're there. Why not? That smoke, great placement. It's going to cover everything. That lets them get a nice, clean walk onto site. Great aggressive plant as well as Lionheart's taking on Winobi. That sets him up with this 3v2. Everyone's going to get scanned, but I doubt that's the first thing on their radar at this point. With this setup that they've got, is they're collapsing in on Heaven.
And that's the other thing, too, with where the neural theft was, is that it's going to get that information, but they kind of have an idea of where you're going to be just based off that. Oh, so Sanito? Is Sanito? Wait a minute.
He doesn't know.
Trigon flank. He doesn't know. He throws out the camera. He's running out of time, though. He has no other option, and look at where it's planted as well. I was half expecting Sanito to land another crisp headshot, but Trigon does have to jump that little bit better.
I mean, that's when it comes down to the smallest of things. You know, Valorant's a game of inches when it really wants to be. And the plant, plus the great flank there and the commitment to that slow walk, you know, that discipline, what changes it there for Rochester. Cincinnati now, does have rifles back in their hands as they get ready for this next round. It looks like they're leaning a little bit over towards B side, which is the correct call since, look at that, there are 4 RIT members ready to aggress on this B.
It's the same idea of what they're wanting to do again with the Viper all the way over there on A, maybe to try and debate it out. But this time, instead of the Viper having the spike, instead it's given over to the Omen. Ooh, Sanito got a little bit of information using that camera. They saw Aiden, so they know at the very least one agent is hiding out in B main. The Omen is there as well. Trigon, not as fortunate this time around in their attempts to distract over on A. Thankfully, though, Aiden wins out against their mirror matchup. Here we go, though. This is what we're wanting to see. We're wanting to see them actually do something to try and make sight happen. The Nightfall comes in, though, on the side of Rochester. Now is coming in from Cincinnati, so back and forth ultimates. It's just Aiden who's been so far really good with the aim. And now with where Chad Bino has been set up, they're looking out towards where the spike has been planted, trying to get a kill there, so Chad Bino was able to get it. Thankfully, though, it seems like Cincinnati has an idea of this thing called teamwork, so they were able to get the trade out there. Savagery and Aiden, really all you need. They are able to close this out. Rochester 5 in a row.
I think Chad Bino is like the perfect archetypical duelist. You know, very, very Anvil type. Run in, do damage, you know, create attention, and give chance for the other people on your team to capitalize on it and do some work. And RIT is so good on exactly that, on capitalizing on what Chad Bino puts out on the table for them. Even when they're not getting a kill, they're creating enough chaos and creating enough openings that Rochester is able to just run in right after them and clean up. And now they're on to another conversion round.
And that's something really important to be said here, is that when Chad Bino goes in, the rest of the team follows. It's not just about leaving your 4 duelists to go and try and make magic happen all by themselves. No, everybody is there to try and support them and try to give them just that little bit of extra room to maneuver around with. And look who's spearheading this once more. It's Chad Bino. It's just not the best timing in the world that they weren't looking at the right place. And so there it is, a nice headshot. You really got to be careful if you're Savagery, though. In comes the cage, and now you're stuck in this pincer maneuver as 2 are coming in up towards tower, and things have really stalled out for Rochester. Even though they have the weapons advantage, it just seems that they're losing out in the mechanical aim for the moment. Dummy's gonna get another one. Now we have the neural theft again. Lionheart, the TP over, picks up Spike, goes right on over to A.
Yeah, you at least get Spike down, you know, start that timer, as well as getting the money for your team, which always a good thing to have more cash in your pocket. Lionheart here, looking to play for this CT. I have to deal with 3 people and a dog. You know, he's there. Dummy, only 1 health to the name, but Sanito's gonna go first. Flash out. Not gonna get the good flash, but it's going to be enough. Sanito capitalizes extremely well. I think what we're seeing with these 2 teams is a difference in mechanics versus macro. You know, I think Cincinnati's mechanics across the board have been shown time and time again to be exceedingly good, whereas Rochester's macro is excellent across the board.
I agree. It's a clear understanding of how the game is supposed to be played by Rochester, and it seems like when they are able to capitalize on it, they do it so very well. But when given the chance that Cincinnati is able to put that mechanics to the test, they're able to pull out round wins, like from what we just saw there. Really clean share of headshots, one after another after another. Whether it was Dummy, Sanito, or Vulcan, they landed the shots, and that was what's really important here. But we're seeing just the difference on how important that macro gameplay is versus just raw mechanical skill that happens from our teams. Winobi up forward really wants to use that paint shells, but is going to be caught out by the dogs. Not for a second time, though, but the information has been given out there on how close Winobi was. And, of course, the trail leading to them is going to give them just that little bit of extra caution before they engage on that as well. So, Aiden, a little concussed, but no worse for wear. They're going to still hold here. They're just going to wait, see what happens. You're supported this time around by the Viper wall, but no Viper.
It's always okay to just be a little bit concussed, you know, as a treat.
Yeah.
I've been concussed like 8 times. It's fine. You know, you just
reminds you
keep
your
moving on.
noggin's still working.
Exactly.
Maybe after too many repeated ones, who knows what happens. Ooh.
ADHD mostly is what happens.
All right, so you got the tower push happening now. And try and use the route. Another neural theft. this time around, though, from Rochester. Chad Bino, so crisp. Dummy. Doesn't get the kill. Instead flashes himself. That's not what you want to happen. That is really not what you want to happen. And so Savagery is like, all right, let's just walk onto there. This is a good read, though. A really great rotation from Rochester. Let's just go ahead. We know that they're going to be on B. Let's go to A. We saw them rotating things through the neural theft. Now we get to try and put the spike down. We are enough left time, so they got to go ahead and make sure they do that now. Chad Bino in heaven. Chad Bino not looking in the right place, though.
And now, right back down to a 2v2 and not a great plan in post-plant. They had to plant safe because they didn't know where everyone else was. Great swing, though, from Savagery! Bearcats weren't ready, and they're sent back to spawn.
Whatever happens,
Sheesh. Savagery is indeed a savage. What an insane swing to get the double kill and secure that round. It's just... we really got to say, though, Chad Bino was able to get the double kill that initiated and even things back out once more, and then Savagery with the final 3 to close things out of that round is just top-notch gameplay from Rochester so far. They have the mechanics as well from what we've been able to see. I mean, you can look at the scoreboard, too, on top of that, just how they're doing.
I mean, what I've always said, you can either have, you know, you can have, if you have good planning, you'll win about 50% of your fights. If you have good mechanics, you'll win, you know, another 50%. If you can put them all together, you'll never lose. And Rochester is showing exactly that right now about how they, you know, how good mechanics feed into good macro and how good macro feeds into, you know, easy mechanical plays. And it just makes your life nice and simple. University of Cincinnati, as I was, Rochester Institute of Technology set up once again for this kind of split, you know, majority B, Viper A play with Chad Bino looking to take control of mid.
Yeah, it's just holding out here. It's seeing if Vulcan is going to be able to initiate well enough. They have these initiators, and so when it really comes to these post plants, it's all about being able to take that space back when they're trying to go for the retake. But so far, it just hasn't been working out for them well. Again, though, the Viper wall goes up to try and bait them out on A. Unfortunately for Trigon, it just hasn't really been working out for them so far. It worked out a couple of times, but Cincinnati is starting to get the read on that. I think it's starting to work against them more than it's working for them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate those, you know, type of split plays. I would prefer to see like an initiator duelist, though. You know, a second duelist go for that rather than a controller, just because it's so hard for that controller to get back out in those situations. Here, though, it looks like Rochester's kind of stalled at this point. They're slowly creeping up mid. Jabino's going to have to take a gunfight. Not going to win it, though. Savagery wants to try to avenge them, but runs into a 1v2. They're not coming out of that one very clean. Last 2 members of Rochester up here in garage, and it looks like they might get pinched. Nope, no, they're not going to get pinchered, as
30 seconds
Cincinnati's, you know, been bitten once, scared twice, not willing to kind of do it, not willing to commit too much to this pincher. So instead, it's just going to be Waldy over here in mid. Takes the 1 shot, finds the second, and that is that. Cincinnati's got their second round.
It's really rough to be losing your Viper like that very early on. Even just a player in general. Something that could have helped you make that push happen. So we've been seeing Rochester lean towards B. That's been their play most of the time, with sending one person, whether it's been the controller or the sentinel, to try and take over A. But now it seems like this time, this is actually something I'm hoping for, the full-on A push.
Yeah, I think they've recognized at this point that Cincinnati has the download, so let's take advantage of it, you know? Let's switch it up, play that tempo change, see what they can do about it. Issue is, you know, and not be going fast enough. Waldy gets caught out by that nightmare. Can anyone find him? No. Barely getting out. Look at this. Chad Bino's wrapped around, trying to get out, gets caught in the utility. Now, though, gunfight. Different arcs across. Vulcan up here in heaven, smoked off, and there's a moment of calm. RIT's going to use this to try to get that plant down.
Spike planted.
Vulcan is looking all over the place. He saw the tip of the barrel. He saw the legs of Chad Bino, and so stuck in that corner. If you're going to be anyone, though, it may as well be a duelist, and now they're going to try and rotate around, but hiding out is going to be Winobi right on the other side. A really good showstopper. Knew exactly where Lionheart was. Savagery, you're going to have a lot on your hands, my friend, but it just proved to be a little too much. Now it's a 1v1. Aiden has to win it out, but they can't. Vulcan closes it out, clutches it out, and gets the defuse for Cincinnati, trying to even things back up. Now it's 3-6, Cincinnati making up that lost ground.
By the skin of their teeth. Cincinnati make it through that one. I love seeing that aggressive play. I think they just stalled a moment too long. Rochester there, they had the setup, they were getting it going. Once that flash came through, I feel like they just had that moment of hesitation. And that was a moment too long, because the moment that flash came through, the blinded call went out. Rochester, Cincinnati knew it's on A. Everyone's on A. We have to go there right here, right now. And so that tempo change wasn't able to really pay the dividends that Rochester was asking for it to.
No, it really wasn't. It's another move, once again, to send one person from Rochester by themselves, which is such a bold move. And it's a sentinel, so they're by themselves. It'd be really hard for them to make any escapes happen. Chad Bino got found out by the dog, and I think Dummy's dog actually was able to find out so much information from that. Blinded, though, on all sides, and it seems like a really hard rotate in from A. Chad Bino comes up with 1 kill onto Dummy. Now it's going to updraft, take over the high ground, hit by the Nightfall, and so really it's just going to hold on here. It seems like the anchor from Aiden, though, was a really good idea. As Sunita was trying to rotate around, they are going to get caught out. And so now what happens here? Aiden's going to go in through CT, and is going to hold and wait for anyone walking by, and that's exactly what was going to happen. Fortunately, they missed their shots. Sometimes that's what it just comes down to.
Yeah, great rat spot, great control of space, bad trigger discipline. Can't make the shot. Either way, it does give alerts. Winobi, though, gonna knock down Lionheart. That puts us right back at 3v3. Look at this, though. Viper's Pit ready to go, and that's going to cover the entire site. Plant not down quite yet. Gonna get planted in default. Chadvino takes out Vulcan. That's brutal. Chadvino looking for more. Gonna find Waldy. Good trigger discipline leading to that one. And it's just Winobi left. They've got to enter the snake pit. This Viper poison cloud. Run themselves all the way to the other side. Trigon in here with just a sheriff. Pop the defuse. That did give away the position.
They're gonna have to be so careful here right now. They're running out of time. They get the kill onto Trigon as the Viper's Pit goes down. And now we're going to see if Savagery is going to be able to get the kill, whether or not they're going to wait it out. We get it over to half, but a little bit too bold. Winobi thought that they were safe. They had to go for it. It was now or never. Savagery comes up with the kill. On a stinger, too.
We love a good little stinger ringer, ring around the rosy to death. It's, it's sometimes you just got to send it back to the classics.
You really do.
Winobi chooses a direction. You gotta choose one of them. It's a 50-50 chance. Ends up choosing the wrong one. And as a result, Rochester Institute of Technology has taken the advantage for this attacking side, and they're just looking to build on it at this point.
UC is forcing hard right now. They kind of have to at this point. There's really no other option. They're starting to hemorrhage rounds pretty dangerously. Now Aiden's pick up the ult orb, has given themselves the neural theft. We'll be able to find out exactly where they need to go. I'm loving this from Chad Bino. You go in, you've created a lot of space, and you've given out a lot of information. Fortunately, with their death, so too does a gun go in the hands of UC, a very mechanically capable team. And so now it's going to require the rest of them to really step up and bring their absolute A game. Sunito is still on the other side, and Waldy manages to land a very clean paranoia onto Lionheart, but now it's all back over. Smoked off the CT. Waldy so dangerously low on health. It's gonna be that much more difficult. Vulcan with a double kill. Does get traded out, but things are even here. Now we have the Nightfall. Savage is gonna throw out the haunt. They know they got both of them inside of it. Savagery only has 2 HP though, and they're all by themselves. They get 1, but they couldn't get the 2.
Good attempt there at the stall. I think we've actually seen, that round turn on an excellent util usage by Cincinnati. Cincinnati popped that, a perfect molly to separate Chad Bino from the rest of the team. And so even though Chad Bino was able to create a lot of chaos, we didn't get to see that classic hammer anvil style from Rochester that we normally do see. He just leaves Chadbino out. They can do the mechanical play. They can try to go crazy. But at the end of the day, there's only so much crazy that a Jet in a corner in a 2v1 can really, conjure. And with everyone else blocked off, no one can take advantage. Leads to a nice little stalled out point. And they can't get their, excellent post-plant setup because they just have no space to operate with.
Nope.
As a result, Cincinnati wins. I think that, honestly shows the turn of what Cincinnati used to be playing around, which is more of those util focused plays.
I 100% agree with that. Cincinnati, it seems to have been able to find that they can continue that, and if they recognize that, could be their possible win condition on being able to take split from Rochester. Now Rochester inside of this timeout, I think this is this is their first one, and I think that this is a really good idea from them. Now they've been on the other end, what should have been an easier round, not the easiest of ones, but still an easier. They lost, and things were looking really good for them. Now it's really about how do we use the 3 ultimates that we have available to us. We have the knives, we have Omen TP, and we have Neural Theft. So there's different ways that they can go about doing this. A lot of this is going to be on the backs of actually making sure, especially for Cypher, to get those kills to be able to use that Neural Theft.
Yeah. Looking at it now, some early util traded on this A site. Chadbino, knives out.
Cover going out.
Looking to find it. Oh, that's not what you want to be looking at. Don't be looking where you came, you need to be looking where you're going. Rochester Institute of Technology takes advantage, and that's an easy neural theft for them as well. Lets them sweep right up this mid. They know that they've got this isolation over on B. There's only one person there. They just got to go right at him. As a result, they're just going to have to give the site. Bearcats not willing to contest it. Lots of mollies to make sure that there is no one coming from CT. Good camera place as well. And now we're going to see that classic Rochester Institute Technology plant and post-plant. They're able to get that aggressive spike down.
Yeah, there's just that one double kill from Rochester really put Cincinnati on the back burner. And it was just both members were looking at the smoke, waiting for someone to walk through it, but they thought they had cleared sewers, but they needed to make sure that they had really cleared sewers. And it seemed like that timeout was vital to RIT's success here. On top of Lionheart getting a cheeky little double to really burst the doors wide open. Now we're back on a pistol round in the second half. Rochester on the defense, and that is something that I'm going to be very scared of if I was Cincinnati right now.
I'm gonna say that one from Lionheart. It's due to the spam in chat. It's due to the shopping cart. It gave them the power they needed to find those kills.
They spammed the cart. They helped Lionheart.
Yeah, you gotta spam the cart to help Lionheart. Great showing there. That sets them up so excellently. You just can't do those formality checks, I so often, at this time, especially when we start seeing this high-level elo, high-level play, people really get into those formality checks where they just kind of swing their camera over there, go, oh, okay, I didn't see someone, it's clear. When in reality, they're hiding just a little bit further back.
Yep.
And that leads to avoidable deaths. Trigon now going to be facing this 1v4, but it makes it a lot easier when only one person comes to the smoke at a time. And that leads to Vulcan's death.
This is a breakdown of communications for Cincinnati. Why is only one person walking through the smokes? It makes no sense. And look what happens again through sewers. Nobody is watching it so they can walk through it. They think that they have to look through mid. No, they had to make sure they're keeping an eye on sewers. And if I was Cincinnati right now, my eyes would forever be glued to sewers. At least one person.
Yeah, it's just they're really hitting those like formality checks every single time, assuming things are clear when you haven't actually done the work to clear them. It's brutal. It destroys rounds, as you can see right there, for the second time now. If you needed more of a lesson of why you need to fully clear your angles, I don't know what else I can give you.
Really, at this point, Loki, you could serve it up on a silver platter. It's happened. I guess it needs to happen a third time. Or at least, at the very least, twice before it sinks in.
Third time's the charm. I mean, might as well. If it happens 2 times, it might be changed. You got to get that scientific, veracity going.
Exactly. The data. The data has to be supporting your hypothesis. So it's going to be a straight up mid push this time around. Go in as quickly as you possibly can. Trigon is just going to still hold on into that mid. But look over towards A. Savagery. I wanted to talk about that lone fade, but now I'm just gotta look at Savagery getting a double kill headshot like that and completely defanging Cincinnati.
Oh, they heard. Vulcan heard it. Vulcan heard the jet updraft. Oh, you gotta clear your corners every time. It's always your corners.
Always the corners. You think you're safe, but you're not. I think two coaches right now, Loki, are about to be yelling at their teams. Angles, corners. Check them. Clear them.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Can't walk unless you clear the corners. It's where they get you. It's where they get you, them corners.
Yeah, you get in the heat of the moment and you forget the fundamentals, right? You forget the fact that corners.
I mean, you gotta balance, you know, that playing that aggressive, playing it with speed versus playing with not dying. And sometimes it does end up being a really, really hard balance to find. So I can't blame them for choosing the wrong thing, of choosing, you know, I gotta be here right now and just hope no one's hiding behind that corner. Like, that does happen. But that is a choice, and that is a trade-off, and sometimes the risks may be calculated, but dang, am I bad at math.
Same here. It's 1 + 1. It's too much for me. All goes in.
I can only count to 4.
Dang. All right, brag about it, why don't you? Sheesh. They know that Lionheart's chilling out in here, so it was really unfortunate for them to try and go in on that. But Savagery, it's unbelievable what they've been able to do so far with this Stinger. Getting a couple of kills like that. This is looking like it really is going to be going in the favor of Cincinnati. They have the guns in their hands. They have all the utility. They have the shields. And so far for them, of course, supplanted by the mechanical skill that they have, just been working out really well. At this point, if I were Rochester, just do that kind of stuff, right? And get away with guns if you can.
Rats, we are the rats. And Savagery, very, very smart rat. They haven't found the cheese. Yeah, Loki, I think that's all they need.
I think it all comes back to the one thing with corners and stuff, right? We were talking.
The corner thing.
Yeah.
I should check those, I think.
You had it in your head, right? You had the idea, the hypothesis was formulating. Yeah. I mean, you know, you wanted to go in for it. At the very least, University of Cincinnati is going to be able to take the round here. But Rochester comes out with a gun. 2 members alive. Not the cleanest win.
No, I mean, always want to just take the round. You know, get whatever you can. It's always better to have the point next to your name than it is, obviously. But I would much rather take a win where all of the other team is dead and, you know, we haven't lost a gun. We haven't given them a free gun. You know, our Rochester Institute of Technology now has a lot of firepower, you know, meeting them. You can see all of the guns in the UI there, and they still have money in the bank as well because they had such a good bonus and such good pistol rounds and such good conversions that they're able to just play their gun advantage and play their util now.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from Cincinnati. They are making sure that sewer is clear. There is no one inside of there. It's safe. We're good. Chad Bino, take a quick jump peek, see if anyone wants to come up through B main. There is a Wanobi chilling out there, but that's really all he's going to be doing is chilling out. And that is, I mean, that's an Omen smoke. It's a one-way, so, you know, you can shoot down through there. But really at this point, someone's got to be walking through it eventually. Trigon, stuck in mid, is going to die in mid for their efforts. Chad Bino is going to continue to make sure that B main is safe. And for the University of Cincinnati, readjusting their ideas of where they want to go, and it's leaning towards A.
Yeah, well, they need to put it in the next gear as time is ticking down, and they don't have really any sort of control of this site. They still got a lot of util to work through. Lionheart gonna get dogged, gonna get flashed, waiting for the flash to end. Don't have to wait for it, because Wally didn't get hit.
Okay, Savagery.
Still stuck in this heaven. They got some util covering main. I think that got broke. But Chad Bino's ready to help him out. And Chad Bino plus Aiden together secures this heaven. And it's just Vulcan. They need to forge a win for themselves in this next 16 seconds. Plant's going down. But that is a giant flare up to the heavens of, hey, I am right here. Come find me.
51 HP, too. It's not going to be easy for them. And really, at this point, RIT just needs to play the numbers game. And they don't even really need to worry about that 51 HP, because if Aiden's tapping heads like that, it is going to be another easy round to the pocket for RIT. They are now one away from match point.
Ready. Spike the fuel. Cage triggered. Cage triggered.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that puts Cincinnati either back into a save or a force. Look at that buy screen right there. No, it looks like they do still have rifles. They managed to win enough and save enough that they're able to get right back up. Looks like they might be leaving behind some utility in some of their other players, but on the whole, we do have rifles on board. Meanwhile, Chadbino, what's this? What's this? We've seen it before. He's back. He's again. Back.
It just seems like the positioning is not going to work out for poor Chadbino this time around with the heavy A presence that's coming from Cincinnati. So this operator is not going to get as much out of it as I think that he was expecting. Lionheart, spam that cart to help Lionheart. He is spamming down through the smokes and is going to get, at the very least, an opening kill for Rochester and deal a lot of damage to this guy too on top of that. Now Chadbino's patience is going to be rewarded, Loki. Hold your breath, everyone. All right, it was a little shoulder peek. We'll excuse that one. He's able to escape with his life. But if I were Cincinnati, I would be very scared.
Back again. Bino's
Dump
back.
util.
Tell your friends. Does look like he's just gonna get right back out of here and pop those knives. That'll help him with that entry because he's probably preparing for retake at this point. It does look like Cincinnati's gonna get onto the site. Chadbino's pulling the operator back out. Might be someone coming up ropes. He's waiting for it. Oh, there's one more. They'd be looking to come out garage. Got such a good angle, but not going to matter because it gets smoked off. Cincinnati secured on this site, and time is ticking down. Only about 30 seconds left to defuse this bomb. If Rochester wants to get to it, they're going to have to get moving. These smokes are brutal. At this point, we're just running out through. Savagery with the 360 no scope.
No way.
Dummy. Pulling out the Call of Duty strap.
And then Chadbino gets a kill with an operator on top of that. Savagery, you are just insane. I thought we were playing Valorant, not Call of Duty. Out comes, whoop. Okay. All right, we fade ults when everyone's dead. Power move, I guess. We don't need that.
All right. The dominance.
Yeah, we're now in match point. All we need is neural theft.
One bit more, and Rochester will right the wrongs of the past, set themselves up for what looks to be an astounding second split of this season. All they got to do, 5 more kills, 1 more bomb defuse, possibly a neural threat.
I think Rochester's feeling pretty good about this rematch against Cincinnati. They had to be feeling incredibly happy at the turnaround from week 1, as we are here now in week 9. Of course, then also there's a change that we had from the winter break as well, so even more time to get that practice in. Oh, Chadbino, you're disgusting. How do you get away with that? There's no way. Meanwhile, Trigon, they really want to try and make sure that they are holding that presence inside of mid. It's just, they kind of realize that Cincinnati is picking up on that Trigon likes to hang out there, and so you just really pick up a kill. I gotta respect Savagery for wanting to go back in and try to hold that and try to put consistent pressure there. It was just,
they found my wire.
Didn't quite have the timing.
I mean, I'm always
Chad.
I'm always on the side that you should, give up the spot after you take it. Don't try to go for the re-peek. There's too much intel in your position. Sometimes you gotta make it work. They're both up in heaven, so flash up there trying to fight them. Swing out. Chadbino takes the kill. They got 1 more friend, so that does make it a 2v2. They're still evened up. Chadbino still holding on to his operator. Doesn't want to let it go down. Doesn't matter. Lionheart's got the drop in the kill.
Spam this card.
Time is ticking down. Do they have the swing? They have the swing! They've done it! Rochester in the rematch takes it all the way!
Rochester Institute of Technology just 2-0'd University of Cincinnati and has taken a win once more. This rematch going in a far different direction than the original, with an overtime first map, a second map, and a third map. Completely, not even a third map this time around was needed. No overtime was needed. It was just RIT in the driver's seat the entire time.
From top to bottom, amazing play out of Rochester. Lioncart doing their work. Savagery and Chad Bino. Hammer and Anvil setting up everything they need to do. Could not be more impressed with Rochester. I cannot wait to see what else they do this split. They have transformed as a team from last semester.
I couldn't agree more, and obviously it was all down to the phenomenal efforts of Lioncart. So there you have it, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching us. That is going to be it for the games that we have on this channel for tonight, but I believe official EGF3 still has more Valorant games going on if you want to go and check them out. And of course, make sure that you go ahead, follow this channel, follow official EGF as well, where we have games ranging from Overwatch, Valorant, Rocket League, League of Legends, Counter-Strike even. So we have a multitude of games. Of course, my name is Sam Talk, joined by the amazing Loki. Loki, where can everyone catch you?
At LokiCasts on Twitter, Loki_cast. Come check it out.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Yep. And same for me, Sam Talks TV on Twitter. So, Loki, any final thoughts? Any final words?
To give shout out to our amazing producer making everything run, Nathan Prod. They have done amazing work, so credit to them for everything that they do.
Absolutely. Amazing. Production always makes us look good, makes us sound good. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all in the next broadcast.
I'm just calling to say I